us alive. Trending heat keeps the legends revived. Welcome to the IzzyVerse, where the panels break and the stories burst. First appearance, history made. Slam it, grade it, immortal past. The IzzyVerse, canon forged in a universe cursed. From golden to modern, the story survives through the bleed of the page. It stays alive. Flip that spec, pumping dumb dreams. Holy grail whispers, tear at the seams. Market spikes in the rumor mill's breath. Crossovers ink the line of death. Footnotes trace the collector's code. White pages pure in a mylar hold. Investment grade, sealed in a tomb, but the panels still scream, they boom. Back issue fire, collector's sin. Every variant cover pulls you back in. Welcome to the IzzyVerse, where the panels break and the stories burst. First appearance, history made. Slam it, grade it, immortal past. IzzyVerse, canon forged in a universe cursed. From golden to modern, the story survives through the bleed of the page. It stays alive. Flip it, press it, spec it, grade it. Canon's eternal, you can't escape it. KSU, Arc eternal, bleed through you. Welcome to the IzzyVerse, where the panels break and the stories burst. First appearance, history made. Slam it, grade it, immortal past. IzzyVerse, canon forged in a universe cursed. From golden to modern, the story survives through the bleed of the page. It stays alive. Flip it, press it, spec it, grade it. Canon's eternal, you can't escape it. KSU, Arc eternal, bleed through you. Welcome to the IzzyVerse, where the panels break and the stories burst. First appearance, history made. Slam it, grade it, immortal. Welcome to the IzzyVerse, canon forged in a universe cursed. From golden to modern, the story survives through the bleed of the page. It stays alive. It's more than a run. It's the crossover you can't outrun. The IzzyVerse lives on. The IzzyVerse lives on.
And we are live this evening. It's a beautiful February day in New York, up here in the Bronx.
New York. Okay.
New York. Oh, there you go. Now we lost our monetization dollars. How you doing, Cliff?
All over the place, but good. Good.
Same here, man. It was a very interesting day for me. A lot of working going on. I was doing this. I did a webinar here. I went to do some other things. I got some food. It was a lot of stuff. Getting ready for a very interesting list that we got going on. Obviously, if you guys watched yesterday in the cover price, there's one specific title that I think we're going to be talking ad nauseum for a little bit, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Before we do any of that, it's time to recognize the folks at the chat, starting with Las Cruces. Hello from Nuevo Mexico. You see, I'm the only guy that gets the Nuevo Mexico line. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Las Cruces, last month's winner. I got the box ready to go. It's going to be shipped out really soon. So we're going to start a new month this week. So we already have our books set up right there. We'll talk a little bit more about these. What's the icons for today? It might not be as simple as you think. So interesting. Also, another previous winner. Dale of Suspense with the Superman, Spider-Man, Captain Rat, Pizza Rat, PC Rat, all with the logos. My good boy, Tate Prime. Love you, Tate. Thank you so much for all the help you've done. I'll explain a little bit later what Tate was able to do and help out as well with something that we're going to talk about a little later. DVH is also in the house. Hoot, DVH. DVH has a commission that I'm going to be doing for him, and I can't wait to show him when it's finally ready. It's going to be a fun commission. Something definitely is going to be cool. So looking forward to that one. Corbiana's Hideout is in the house. It's that time. Yep, it's time for the IzzyVerse. Welcome.
Corbin Hideout? I think it's Corbin.
Corriban.
Well, it's from Star Wars.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. How did you like that Star Wars teaser in the Super Bowl? Did you see it? The Mandalorian Grogu.
Yeah, that little homage to whatever.
Awesome.
It did nothing for me.
It did nothing for you. It showed to me how much of the actual movie I think they have no faith in, because they didn't show anything of the movie. There was no trailer drop. There was nothing on that. Well, which also reminds me, they didn't show anything. They didn't really show much of anything this year.
You don't have to do right, because why pay Super Bowl prices when you could release your trailers on YouTube?
Well, here's what they do. They do the 30-second spot, which is this year costs $7 to $10 million. They do this. They do the 30-second spot, and then they send people to YouTube. That's what they did with the Minions movie, right? So the Minions did that. Project Hail Mary did that, which I am excited for. Project Hail Mary. That's a movie that I definitely look forward to. But we got no Spider-Man. We got no Avengers. We didn't get Toy Story, and what we got from Disney was a Clydesdale parody that really took us nowhere. So, but the Minions movie is coming out. Minions and Monsters. Got that going on.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, wise.
Yeah, that's it. There's Cliff.
Oh, you're all the way at the back.
Yep. That's what she said. JSS Brooklyn is in the house. What's going on, JSS? What else we got? Oh, Cliff is he's responding to everybody. No, I refuse to delete the song because that is my theme song. Deal with it, Tate. Deal with it. Right? Until Cliff comes up with Welcome to Cliff on Comics. I get Nuevo Mexico. Izzy, what do you say? No one else says from Nuevo Mexico. Let's see. I love you too, Cliff. Izzy as well, but don't tell it. It's funny. Hey, everybody, treats me like garbage, man. What is that? I'm a real metalhead AI song. It's not an AI song. My friend actually built it. It's a friend of mine who did it. So that's what it was. Let's see here. It was the most normie trailer we could. And there we go. JSS dropping the trailer. I love the fact that JSS always gets all of that stuff, right? Yeah, I can't wait to do it. I'm not sharing what it is yet. I'll do that at a later time. So that's that. Yeah. Minions versus Monsters looks fun as hell. Yeah, I enjoy the Minions movies. Rattlesnake Comics. What's going on, Rattlesnake? Let's see who else we got here. I think I reached to the bottom, right? We finally got there. Okay, so we got 16 people watching right now. Of course, you guys know how this works. Nothing new. We got some icons, some new icons this week. One is pretty obvious, right? So, so we got here what that flame, I guess you could call it on a fire pit or something like that, right? You got a cat. First chat, and what did he pick? Let's see. Let's start the which is the one he wants. All right. So JSS with $1.99. Thank you. To start, let's all right. So JSS, we got 3 icons. We got the fire pit, we got the cat, we got the rain, and we got a skull, the original, the OG Punisher skull. So JSS, since you're the first one, you get to decide which is the first icon that we're going to pick.
I don't, I assume I know what Black Cat and Punisher and Storm are, but the fire pit has me wondering.
But do you think those are the icons for that?
I do. All right, he picked Punisher.
He picked Punisher, and let's go ahead and pick Punisher. Obviously, it's the Punisher facsimile. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna take it out. So we got the nice little goily. You look at that, a foily goodness. Foily goodness of Punisher facsimile. It's right there. We'll put this right up here. You guys know how this works. If we get to the last one, you get to do the last icon. But I did see our good pal Tate Prime went with the Pussycat. I wonder why.
Right on. He's expecting Black Cat, and so am I.
And you will be right in getting the Ivan Talavera variant of Black. Oh, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous image of our good. Like Ivan Talavera.
I thought there was 2 gorgeous images this week for Black Cats.
Like it's too dark.
I can't believe it turned to black as you held it up.
You saw that, right? Look at that. It's so dark. That's right. Well, you know what? In honor of somebody, how someone that loved Black Cat, I figured it was definitely appropriate. So we got that one. All right. We still have 2 more to go. We got the pit as well as the rain. So let's get out of the screen for a little bit for now, and let's go into today's headlines. And I think we could go ahead and get this video started. So let's talk about the headlines for today. If I could find it. There. All right, our first headline for today is one that I'm really excited to share with you, and that's something that we've heard this week. We're getting a new graphic novel by the one and only Alex Ross, and it's going to be a Marvel Dimensions one. I am super stoked on this. If anybody remembers, not that long ago, it's been like 2 years now, hasn't it? Where he did the Fantastic Four. So now he's returning to doing a Marvel property, which I think this is going to be very helpful for Marvel. The last one did really well. The only thing that I heard is that it's going to be colored by someone else.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Justice over at DC, he drew the issues when somebody else colored it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was still very good, but the vibes are different.
Yeah, you got to notice it. But the Marvel book, the Fantastic Four book that came out, I don't think he did the colors, but it was very pop art style, and so it was really a tribute to Kirby. So I'm curious to see if he's going to go around that same approach to it. It is going to be 112 pages, and it's a hardcover. It's coming out September 1st, just in time for someone's birthday.
And it's 112 pages by itself.
Yeah. I can't wait to see this. I'm super stoked for it, man. It is something I can't wait. Just look at that cover, man.
It's giving me a lot of Bronze Age magic.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is a little Bronze Age stuff because we got a classic Storm icon there.
Brown suit Wolverine.
We got the brown Wolverine.
Phoenix.
That's Yellow Jacket? That's not
Yellow Jacket. Yeah,
it's Yellow Jacket. So that's interesting.
yeah.
So we got Surfer, Iron Man. We got Daredevil, Black Cat. Not Black Cat. The other black female. That's not black.
Black.
What about?
Yo. The thing.
I just thought about that for a second.
I think I see Black Panther behind Thor.
He's right there. Thor got the. I don't know what's going on with Thor's chest right now. He has a little Valkyrie.
It's popping.
It's popping. It's very It's like he's wearing his best Valkyrie outfit there. So that's that.
By the way, I'm also getting the feeling this could be a 3D book. Because did you notice the Dimensions has that 3D-ish thing happening at the bottom?
Yeah, but it's typical of his coloring style when he does these. These.
No, look at the word Dimensions, man. Look at the word Dimensions. Right? Okay. Come on. There's nothing else looks like that on this cover that they're presenting.
Yeah. So to answer the question here, is this a new Kingdom Come? I'm going to tell you right now, it's not. Because his Kingdom Come is actually Marvel's. It may not be, it's not the same thing, but really Marvel's came before Kingdom Come. And that's how we got Kingdom Come. We wouldn't have gotten Kingdom Come if we got in Marvel's.
Correct.
Right. So Marvel's was the book that kind of that made him, put him on the map. However, it was Kingdom Come that made him an icon. Does that sound fair enough?
Oh, yeah. No, I think so. I think that's all true. And listen, back when I was younger, it was all about Marvels and Kingdom Come.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Marvel's, surprisingly, the price tag for those books are very low. Very low. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. People, I don't know. People just lost it. They, I don't know why.
Yep.
I mean, it was certainly one of the hottest.
We got a fire pit.
Yeah. Hottest thing in our time.
All right. So let's do this. Let's get this back rolling here. And he went with, we'll put this one here, show it to the screen. He went with the fire pit. So let's find out what the fire pit is.
Apocalypse. Maybe it's DCKO.
It's a little more obvious than that. It's Pit.
The fire threw me off.
Well, it is. It's still a fire pit. So it's the first issue of Pit, which is a really fun book. I thought this was a nice little addition here that we have. So I figured might as well put in the Pit. It's been a long time. I want to see the Pit make a return. I'll be honest with you. I really, really want to see a Pit make the return. So thank you for that one. We still got one more left, and that's this little rain. Whatever this is. Cliff is saying Storm, but I don't know if that's true. So who's to say?
I feel like it's fair.
It's fair. It is fair. I will say that much. So let's get back to our original subject at hand, and that is this headline. So let's go to our next headline here. So we'll close this one out, and we'll go to our next headline. And I hate these little things here. Where was it? I had it. Now I lost it. Where did I put it? I did have it. Now I lost it. It was from Bleeding Cool.
Agrees with me that it's probably Storm.
You'll never know until the pick is picked, right?
Perhaps.
Right. So we got that going on, and now I think this is not. Oh, you know what? Now I think I know what it is. This is the one. All right. This is the subject matter. Let's change to this one. Heretic Auction and Semper Fi Comics team up for a $13 million Batman Superman mega sale. So remember last time we spoke about this. Actually, we spoke about this last week in regards to the top selling books of January. Action Comics #1 sold for $15 million. and it looks like Batman #1 and Superman #1 both sold at a combined $13 million. What's your
Mhm.
take? How do you feel? How you like that?
I feel good because Superman #1 and Action #1 are still the top two. So that just, it fills me with the glory of Gaia. So I just love it. And
And the Batman #1 was the highest graded version of Batman #1. It was at 9.4. So
Yeah.
it was the $6 million book. And the
Mhm.
other book was the Superman 8.5. Not too shabby, not too shabby.
Not too shabby,
Right?
I'd
Not too
say.
shabby. And it was from the Mile High pedigree.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh, it is pretty cool. But again, enjoy second place, Batman.
So Tate Prime went with Stormwatch. So let's see if he's right in that assumption. And the answer is, and Las Cruces went in for the last one. So we got the last one in. Okay, perfect.
Yay!
So we get to do both of them. All right, so let's close these out. All right, so first let's figure out what this rain is. And it's not Storm and it's not Stormwatch. But I think you specifically, Cliff, would like it. Because it is a Silver Age book, Superboy 159, The Day It Rained Superboy. There it is.
Great cover.
What was that?
I said it's a great cover. Great choice.
It is a great cover. Is this a Neil? Looks like a Neil.
I think it's a Neil.
Yeah, so that's that one. And finally, since we did get to all of them, we get to see what's the big prize of the bunch, right? Because Las Cruces was the one to put the last one in there. And the big prize of the bunch is going to be courtesy of Tate Prime, because I was talking to Tate Prime today. This book is very special because originally Tate Prime did purchase this book, but we had a conversation. He actually prize gifted to someone, and I'll mention that a little bit later. And as a result, we couldn't give it to the original person. But I'm happy to know that the winner of this month's box will also have an Immortal Hulk #1. It's the IzzyVerse sketch at a 9.8.
I'm just shocked you got a 9.8. You must have done such a great job maintaining those covers.
You know what's so funny? I thought this was the one that wasn't going to get a 9.
No, I'm like looking at it. I'm like, wow, you pulled off a 9.8 on that? Nice.
Yeah, this one came out at 9.8. So somebody's going to be winning a 9.8. Those are the 5 books for today. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, thank you, DVH. It is a fun one. It was a fun one when we did it. When I did the piece. So thank you, Tate Prime, for donating the piece. Again, we'll explain why a little bit later. Why was it donated? But we're gonna leave that for now. So let's go ahead and hide this from the stream, and let's go back to our original conversation here, and that's discussing this book here. And now I can't even get out of this one. And there we are. So here's what's interesting about this is that there was a Frank Frazetta. Icy Vampirella painting.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see it?
Yeah, yeah. It was in the news, baby. It was in the news.
It was a Vampirella, but without the costume. So, for the purposes of this video, I can't show it. But just remember Vampirella #1, right? In fact, we're going to see that cover a little later. That cover, but without the clothing.
Right, of course. And I think he did it intentionally to to bring in some extra cash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Done these repaintings.
Mm-hmm. So that's
legend has it.
So legend has it. So there you have it. I think I didn't get the last one, so this is not the one I was thinking about. So we're just gonna end the feed for that. So those are your headlines for this week, guys. Of course, there's more, so you can always look up the headlines in the different websites and stuff like that. So before we move on, I wanted to take this opportunity. We got people watching the chat, and I wanted to give people enough time to show up for it. We're going to dedicate today's show to a very, very important friend of the channel. Unfortunately, this Sunday morning, we lost probably one of the most beloved, channel community members, really, because he was also a channel member and he was a huge supporter of my channel as well. We did lose our brother at arms, and that is Papa Wheelie. Papa Wheelie to me was extremely special. This was someone who didn't have, the life that we all have. This is a person that, he went through his struggles and things like that, but he always managed to put a smile on people's faces. When I think about Papa, I just think about all the times, man, that he made us crack up laughing without saying a word, just by his facial expressions or whatever he would put on the chat, or how he would love to roast somebody. And of course, the way he used to tell people he loved them. So, and he's told me he loved me plenty of times, and he always told me I'm number one. So that,
that was certainly a way to say it.
Exactly. What can you say about Papa?
Just he was so funny and witty, and like a lot of people, I wish I had more time. He did some movie reviews with us over in the council, and I'm so sad that we did not have him join for other ones. And I remember when I suggested, there's 2 times I talked about maybe we could do some kind of like reboot sequel to Back to the Future, and he read me for filth. Online, backstage, in my DM, I got a dissertation in my DMs about how sacred Back to the Future trilogy is for him. I don't know, and he sent me one time he was thinking about me, and he sent me this pop figure, which has been displaced, and it's been driving me crazy for 3 days. He sent me a pop figure of the Kool-Aid Man, right?
Oh, and that was his battle with CJ, which I wish we could hear from CJ. I haven't heard from CJ for a while, so I'm definitely gonna reach out to him in regards to him. I'm pretty sure Tate knows a little bit too. He had a rivalry with CJ in the likes none of us had. Like I have a little bit of a rivalry with CJ as well, but always telling him that he lives in he lives in Long Island. But it was every time, man. He any way he could find a way to roast somebody, he would. And it was all in love. Like there would be people like, this guy doesn't like me. It's like, no, that's not true. Actually, this is the exact opposite. I think it has a lot to do more with how much he loves you. And I think that was what made Papa so special. So just briefly, I just wanted to share you a little bit about who he was. Papa was 44, but you wouldn't know that. He was 44 and he was born in August 1981. He had a disability known as, and let me see if I could say it. Maybe you'll say it better than me because you know me, I butcher terms. Arthrogyropois? Something like that. So it was a condition that bound him to a wheelchair. He didn't have the ability to speak. He had to eat through a tube and things like that. He's survived by his mother, Nora, his stepdad, Eddie, his brother, Brian, and his BFS, Dana. What's important about Papa is that we call him Papa, not because he's a father, even though sometimes when I first heard his wife, he's called Papa, but it dawns on you after a while. It was his love of Funko Pops. He had an immense Funko Pop collection. So when you think Papa, you thought, Funko Pops, and then the wheelie, of course, because he was wheelchair bound. So that's where the term Papa Wheelie comes up. He loves comics. He loves sports. He loves playing video games. And he was a huge WWE fan. Wrestling. He loved wrestling, but he was a WWE fan. He was not any other organization type of thing. He did like TNA. And we had a chat. It was called Chat Forever. Where many of us from the community that are wrestling fans, we would go in there so we wouldn't bore the rest of you, like yourself, Cliff, on the conversations of wrestling talk. But it was always great seeing him defend WWE and hate on AEW so much that we actually changed the name of the chat. Beckerman changed the name of the chat from Chat Forever to AEW Sucks in honor of Papa. They would have their Thursday show. I would show up sometimes. I didn't, Thursday is usually my day to be away from the community for a little bit because we all need that time. So it was kind of hard for me sometimes to be on it. But lastly, another thing he loved was boobs. And he had his share for not for safe for work comics that he would love to demonstrate, but he would cover them up because he understood. All that, but and again, like I said, he was at times he could be crude, but at times he was always brutally honest about everything he would say. And it was nothing but love. So this comic book, this Immortal Hulk #1, it was actually purchased by Tape Prime. Tape Prime then donated it to Papa. But what we decided to do, and I'll share with you why we did it, was that we're gonna give this comic book here is gonna be in honor of Papa Wheelie because it was a book that he won. But more importantly, he did commission me to do a piece, and I didn't get a chance to start it. And now that he's passed away, that piece is going to go to Tape Prime, and it's actually a Terminator comic. So I have the concept already. It's going to be Terminator meets Marty McFly.
Oh,
but we're going to throw in some Papa in there. So that's going to be the piece. So I'm going to be working on it really soon. I have the concept already. I have to make some changes to what I originally had planned, even though what I had planned originally was pretty fun. So that's why we made the switcheroo here. So you guys, whoever wins this batch is going to be in honor of Papa. So that's why you saw the black cat, and you might see some other things that are going to be Papa related. Oh yeah, and by the way, he accepted my love for Jeff the Land Shark. He gave me Jeff the Land Shark Papa, which I actually have displayed up there, so I couldn't bring it down. So with that, is there anything else you want to add to that before?
I did find the right pronunciation. It's arthrogryposis. Arthrogryposis. And that is it's not progressive. It happens because joints don't move normally before birth. It affects arms, legs, hands, feet, and the spine. Intelligence is usually typical unless another condition is involved. And as you know, we all know Papa was very sharp and had a sharp,
he was a smart ass. He was definitely a smart ass.
Yeah, no, he really could. When I saw that dissertation waiting for me in my DMs, I knew I was dealing with a man of brilliance and taste.
I would love when he would send a super chat just to shut me up.
Yeah.
Because that was another thing about him. He was a huge supporter of many of our channels, myself included. He always would put, like, when we're watching Rob's show with Only Slabs, he always wanted to put a certain amount for C3 and things like that. But he always had that witty bastard remark because he that's how he was. But it was all in love. So with that being
said, his banter was it. His banter, humor, all of it.
So in honor of Papa, we gotta give. There was an idea that I have myself as well, but Omnibo and Claudia beat me to the punch. In other words, and I hate to say that Omni beat me to the punch, and listen, I think me and Omni are gonna continue with that little feud we have, but now we're gonna escalate it with Papa Wheelie now as part of it. So
I just, that may all be true, but I know the folks at IzzyVerse are like very, very saddened.
Yeah,
by all of this. So
we didn't get a chance to meet him in person, which I would have loved to, but it just wasn't in the cards. So Papa, from us to you, where you are, I'm sure you're flipping the finger at somebody somewhere. We love you, and we're gonna give you this 10-bell salute because we know that you are wrestling. You're one of our wrestling icons. So here you go. This is to you, Papa. Once again, thank you, Papa, for all the memories. We're gonna miss you, and obviously, if I ever want to see you again, I'll just go back to those videos where you did what you did. I'll always have the Jeff the Land Shark there. I'm gonna have that Black Cat comic book, and it's just all it's gonna do is remind me of Papa. We love you. If you know about the butthead joke, I don't know if you know about the butthead joke. It happened yesterday, so
okay.
I'll tell you about the butthead joke a little later. Okay. With that being said, we are going to move to our next segment. It's one that we do more frequently. It's something that I started a while back with Shane. It's time for us to start talking about the 1960s comic book icons. This list was long, and I'll tell you more about it once we finish this video. So with that said, let's go into another episode of it. And you know what? I don't have it. Where is it? Is it this one? I think it's this one.
Ooh.
Yeah, you like that? That's gonna get updated really soon. I'm gonna do a new video soon because it's gonna be more of a comic book spotlight. But we're gonna be doing the 1960s comic book icons. These are the icons that all made a debut within the 60s. Okay, so some of them became famous afterwards and things like that. However, their debut happened in the 60s. Cliff, this list was insane.
I think it's because the Marvel era took place then. I feel like that shift and the shift to the cartoons, all of that was coming in a wave in the 60s.
Honestly, dude, it was like when I started doing the research and I started gathering what characters came out in the 60s. You're right. It was predominantly Marvel characters. There was some DC characters as well as some indie characters, and during this time, indies it's not exactly the same thing as how we would identify indies today, because they really weren't indies at the time. They were all part of that same thing.
I don't know about you, but I think it was all that weed.
Well, it was
the 60s.
It was the 60s. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and a lot of it had to do with that too. So not just weed, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, baby boomers started it all. You got it. Right, Guilty Corgan. What's up? Yeah, so let's go ahead and let's talk about this. But you know how it rolls. We gotta do our honorable mentions, right? So when we do our honorable mentions, we're gonna start off with a couple of characters that didn't quite make the list. Now, like I said, there was a lot. In fact, if I wanted to, I could make a second list, but I'm not going to make a second list. These people were the ones that just didn't quite make it. All right. First one, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. All right. She's iconic for so many reasons. She's not part of the superhero lore, but she was like the second greatest Archie, one of the second greatest Archie characters outside of the Archie universe itself. So what can you tell me about Sabrina the Teenage Witch? Were you a fan of the TV show growing up?
I enjoyed the TV show. I enjoyed the thrilling adventures of Sabrina even more, you know, and I enjoyed her resurrection on Riverdale. I loved all of it. I was very happy.
They're doing comic books with Sabrina, and they're very adult. Yeah. They're not like these.
Well, they're doing a lot of adult Archie stories in general, so it's all happening.
Yeah, so that's one of our honorable mentions. Another one is I put them together because they're all part of the Charlton characters, and that's The Question, created by Steve Ditko, and of course Peacemaker. Now with Peacemaker, he's become popular today, right? In the last, I would say, in the last 5. When did Suicide Squad?
5 to 10 years. So let's just put it around.
I would say around 5 years. But to me, it was about The Question more than anything. The Question was a creation from Steve Ditko that was very much who he was, right? Also, when it comes to the Charlton characters and as a whole, you have to look at it from the perspective of they were the prototype for what we are going to get in The Watchmen in the 80s by Alan Moore. So the Question was really the prototype for Rorschach. Peacemaker was the prototype for the Comedian. Some people don't know that, but DC took ownership of those characters, but did not want Alan Moore to utilize those characters. So what Alan Moore did is that he made different versions of them, but we all know who it was. It's pretty obvious who they were. Nightshade, Silk Spectre, Captain Atom was also Dr. Manhattan, and so forth. What can you tell me about the Question and Peacemaker?
I don't know too much about. Well, I was gonna say I don't know about their old school origins. Other than the Question, always hid his face. Was a great detective. He got a lot more comic book screen time in the 52-week 52.
Yeah,
where he ends up dying and gives the mantle of the Question to
Renee Montoya.
Renee Montoya, who was with Batwoman at the time, which was my favorite couple. And then they had to do all this other stuff with Batwoman. Okay, I still love them.
Yeah, and the thing with the Question in general, one of the things about the Question that's very interesting, if you ever look up the history of the Question, is he was very much the ideals of Steve Ditko. And Steve Ditko also created a character that followed that was very similar in nature as well to the Question. It was his own creation, where the Question ended up going, it was a Charlton character, and then eventually DC took him. He was very how do I put it? His method of thinking, you know what I mean, was very, I don't even know how to describe it. There's a term for it that it was, and it was very controversial even at the time, and to the point of how Steve Ditko looked at life and things like that. And the Question was a reflection of that. Right. Dead Man. Who doesn't love Dead Man? I love Dead Man. Dead Man is such a cool character to me. Boston Brand is a character who was a circus performer, if I'm not mistaken, right? Circus Daredevil, and created by Neil Adams. And he died. And after he died, that's why he's called Dead Man. He's actually dead. He dies, and he had to solve his own murder.
Yeah.
But
mystical entity Ramakrishna.
Yeah.
His spirit, the power to return to Earth as a ghost.
Exactly. And he returns as a ghost, and he's able to possess humans' bodies, which I always enjoy when he possesses the body of like another superhero. Like I know he did for Batman.
Yep.
More recently in what was that crossover event that we just had about 2 years ago? It's 2 years now. Wow. Yeah. Tate, to your point, exactly. Very noir in his approach with it. So, oh my goodness, what was the name of that? What was the name of that 4-issue?
Was it Absolute? No, was it Absolute Power?
No, it was before Absolute. So if you remember they had covers that were very psychedelic as well.
Oh, that was the Night Terrors.
Night Terrors, which I enjoyed. I really enjoyed that, and he was like a big part of that story. So that was pretty cool. It was good to see Dead Men back. And finally, we have Dr. Solar.
And Magnus Robot Fighter.
There were two characters from Gold Key, which eventually became Valiant characters in the 90s. Very sci-fi driven. So Magnus Robot Fighter was set in the year 3000, if I'm not mistaken. I never really read these books. I have my share of Valiant books, which features them. But they were very sci-fi driven because it was a bit of the, it was Man to the Moon storyline. So we had a lot of that going on. So they were very sci-fi driven. What I always loved was Magnus's uniform, man. I don't know what was going on. And so he was the inspiration behind that one character in The Simpsons, wasn't he?
Futurama.
Yeah. No, it was Futurama. It wasn't The Simpsons.
Yeah, it was Futurama. Yeah, because he had like the skirt shorts.
The little skirt thing.
Yeah.
So those are your honorable mentions. Are you surprised that these are honorable mentions, or you would have put them in the top 25? Because we're doing 25 characters.
I might have moved some of them up, but this is not as upsetting as the Sabretooth situation.
I'm willing to bet it's Deadman you would have probably put up.
You might be correct.
All right. Deadman is, if anything, to me, Deadman's 26. That's how I look at Deadman. All right.
You're 25.
Let's see. Again, when we do these lists, they're not in an order of who's the most important. They're in chronological order, so I don't do a countdown. I just give you who they are. So our first character who first debuted in the 60s is a character by the name of Sinestro. All right, Sinestro made his debut in Green Lantern issue number 7 back in 1961. Apparently, there wasn't any character created in 1960s that mattered. For DC Comics, the highest sale of his book is $7,170 in August of 2013. The last sale of this book was at a no grade for $228. Raws on average are $255 in good grade, while graded copies on the fair market value is a 4.5 at 529. There's currently 1,128 copies in the census, and of course, Sinestro is Green Lantern's greatest villain. I personally love Sinestro because he started out as a hero, and then he looked at life a lot differently, and that he eventually becomes a villain. So that's what I personally love about Sinestro. What can you tell me about Sinestro?
I mean, you know, he became a Green Lantern. He had the willpower, but then I don't know how to say this like gently, but he went to his home world and then like kind of gave them, like, he kind of turned the Green Lantern symbol into a bit of a swastika on that planet. I feel like that's the correct assumption.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah. It became a fascist. It became like a fascist.
Oh yeah, he had a fascist state.
Yeah. So with Sinestro, what was interesting about Sinestro, as you do more history, Jeff John was able to take the character who, for a long time, was like, for a long time in the 70s and the 80s, he was like a twirly mustache type villain, to the point that they made him look like a twirly mustache villain, especially in the Challenge of the Super Friends, where his color was yellow, but he had a blue suit, which I never got that. Never got it. Never understood.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, when they switched him to a gold and yellow like black suit, I was like, this makes so much more sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly, and it looks great. I love that the yellow became the color of fear, and it fits for his character. And I'm sad because he was the one good thing in that Green Lantern movie. Like, if you tell me the name of the actor is, I know his last name is Strong, but I can't remember his first name. Mark Strong. If you tell me Mark Strong is returning as Sinestro, I'll be like, yeah, I'm in. I'm good. I'm down. You know what I mean? All right.
And Mark Strong was also Sivana.
Yeah, did they not find any other actors or something like that?
I don't know. Well, considering they felt that Green Lantern was not a success, they were like, "Well, we're gonna just reboot all this again anyway, so let's do it." And now we're on the third DCU reboot. Here we are.
So Tape Prime, we are not doing a countdown. This is not a countdown. So will the X-Men make the list? There's some things that are probably more obvious than others. Wow, this guy showed up all late. Jerk. Anyway, moving on. Love you, Bo. All right, let's go to our next group, and that is the Fantastic Four. One of the things I also am going to emphasize now that this image is here, I'm only going to do first appearances of teams that are their first appearance. All right, so the Avengers are not making this list
because they all made first appearances outside.
Exactly. So when the team is actually individuals that are part of it. So Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic, and yes, I'm calling her Invisible Girl because that was her original name, but now she's been upgraded to Invisible Woman. Damn right, as per John Byrne. Human Torch and the Thing, they all made their first appearance in, of course, Fantastic Four #1 in 1961 from Marvel Comics. The high sale of this book was at a 9.6 in September of 2024, and it sold for $2.04 million. The last sale of this book was at a 5.0 at 22,000 in February of 2026. Raws go for $2,449 in a fair condition, while 3.0s is the fair market value at graded at $8,700. There's currently 3,213 copies in the census. As I mentioned, this is the first appearance and origin of the Fantastic Four, even though they do not show up in costume in this first issue.
No, it's like issue 3. Yeah,
it's issue 3. All right. It's also the very first Marvel comic in the sense that it was formerly Time Atlas. There is Marvel Comics, but keep that in mind. That was the title of the book that would eventually become Marvel Comics. It's also the first appearance of Mole Man, so we got to give Mole Man a little bit of love as well. Overall, this is the book that kicked it all off for Marvel.
Right. This is the book. This is the birth of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah. So this is the start, the start of everything else. But it's amazing to me that you could get this book below $5,000 at a decent grade. Fair is good.
Fair is good.
You know what I mean? And a 3.0 for $8,000, not too shabby. No,
I
it's
mean,
not money that I currently have, but
not too many of us are going to be pulling that one out of our pockets, but not terrible.
Yeah. So that's Fantastic Four #1, 1961. Let's take a look at our next icon, and of course, it's got to be the Green Goliath himself, Incredible Hulk. Another iconic character. In fact, for a very long time, he was considered one of there was Spider-Man. Oh, and Incredible Hulk came in a very close second. For some people, he was even bigger than Spider-Man for a certain time frame. He made his debut in Incredible Hulk #1. This came out in 1962 for Marvel Comics. This has a high sale of $825,000. That's interesting to me at a 9.2, and that was in January 2024. Last sale of this book was $8,540 at a 1.5. The Raws goes for $3,675 again as a fair. However, the graded 3.0 is the fair market value, $12,630. There's currently 2,289 copies in the census. This is the first appearance and origin of Hulk, Bruce Banner, Betty Ross, Rick Jones, and General Thunderbolt Ross.
Beautiful.
Many people don't know that this was a limited series. Did you know that?
I did not. Oh,
Yeah.
Really? It's supposed to be a limited series?
It was a limited series. It wasn't labeled as a limited series, but if you really look back, there's only 5 issues. And then it went to Tales to Astonish, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Right? So there was a time frame it was very much a test the waters type of thing with the Incredible Hulk. And as you can see by the image here, he was originally gray. For those of you who don't know, the Hulk first was gray. It wasn't until issue 2 that they turned him into the Green Goliath that we now know and love. So the gray Hulk was the original color, but because of printing issues, they decided to change it to green. It was easier to do the green because in print, it just looked terrible. Bo, you too much.
Well, actually, so what I had heard was it was too hard to print gray because it required you to use white ink, which was much more difficult to produce back then.
It was a mixing issue. So that's why comic books were 4 colors, right? And they will find ways to mix the colors within the printing press that served it as being a little more challenging. And the gray made it extremely, like, it had to be extremely challenging because from the first issue they made the change to in the second issue. They were like, no, this looks terrible, and it did look terrible. If you look at the pages, if you ever grab a reprint copy and you see the pages, you could see how bad it was. That the gray was just sometimes was a little too dark, so it didn't really encapsulate like his facial expressions and things like that. And that's what was going on with it. So they immediately went with the green, which made it so much easier, and it popped out a lot more than the gray itself. But we did get the gray back with Peter David in the 80s, which also led to Todd McFarlane doing some Incredible Hulk as well. So he managed to do that. What's going on? Stephen White is in the house. How you doing, Steve? All right.
The Voice White.
The Voice. All right, let's go to our next book in our list here, and that's going to go to Doom. All right. So when it came to this list, there's not as many villains as they are more heroes. But if you got to come up with like the top of the top, the best of the best, when it comes to villains, no one beats Doom. And if you don't know, he made his debut in Fantastic Four issue number 5 in 1962 from Marvel Comics. This has a high sale of $180,000 at a 9.2, and that was September of 2022. Last sale of this book was $5,351 at a 4.0. Raws are going for $1,044 at a fair, while graded copies are going for $4,985 at a 3.5. Last census count was 2,602. Doom, man, this is one of those books that, yeah, that price tag's going up very, very soon.
Probably, unless that movie turns out to be trash. Time will tell.
I don't think it will.
Yeah, okay.
I think they're putting all their eggs in the basket for this one.
They might, but that can go one. That can still go one of two ways.
It could go one of many ways, but from what I'm hearing right now, there's a lot of optimism from people that know what's going on. All right.
Let me tell you something about people that know what's going on. They have been wrong before.
Quite possible, but I'm still not a fan of Robert Downey Jr. in the role. Not so much that Robert Downey Jr. is in the role of Doctor Doom. It's that, let's be honest, Tony Stark is in the role of Doctor Doom, which that bothers me. That bothers me so much.
The whole thing bothers me because I feel like they're like, oh no, we're drowning in hot water. Get Robert back. Get Robert back.
Well, that's exactly what it was. And let's get Steve back. Let's get Chris Evans back too. You know what I mean? All they need now is call Scarlett Johansson. It's like, yeah, you want to come back from the dead?
Yeah.
That's all they're gonna need, because they're gonna put the original team back together because they know no one else can handle it. You know what I mean? So, and yeah, to your point, yeah. DVH, I agree. It feels a little weird that the 4.0 is that cheap. I think we're at the calm before the storm moment right now. That's what I believe. But I will give it this much. Remember, these books, the low grades are what they are, but the market's starting to push upwards. You know, with the sale, the Golden Age sales that we're seeing, it actually could push the Silver Age books more higher. So I think that 180 is going to be matched somewhere. It's going to get higher. That's my personal thought. And I do think that we're going to start seeing $10,000 sales of this book. But that was my research. All right. Next one is the Mighty Thor. He made his debut in Journey into Mystery 83. This book came out in 1962 from Marvel Comics. High sale of this book is $432,000 and a 9.4. That was back in April of 2022. The last sale of this book, check this out. Last recorded sale that I found was $2,500 and a 0.5. I want to know how beat up that book was.
I hope the cover looked great.
I hope there is a cover. Let's be honest with you. The raws are going for $1,336 at a fair. Graded is $6,367 at a 4.0. There's currently 2,660 copies in the census. This is the first appearance of Thor, as well as his human form, or his, earthly form, as Donald Blake. So we get a nice little story with Thor. We'll start. We'll see someone else in very, very soon. This is one of those books that, you know, it's iconic, but sometimes it's kind of lost amongst the other books, I think, if that makes sense. Not in price, but
I don't know. I think people think of this. I mean, like Iron Man, Cap, and Thor have solidified their
of course,
their place, and I'm pretty sure people still think of this often.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's Journey into Mystery, which is the book that he originally takes over. It eventually becomes the Thor comic book. So this is the rare occasion where the comic book turns into, you know, the comic book he debuts in turns into his book. So they decide to make the change. Journey into Mystery was your typical monster book of the month book. And then when it went to 83, they just said, you know what, we're going to go here. We're going towards this direction. And then moving forward, all the books were Thor books. And it wasn't until the 70s that they changed it to the Mighty Thor, and they changed the title. And for a long time, it was Journey into Mysteries with including the Mighty Thor, something like that. That was the title of the book for a long time. So fun stuff. And it's a Kirby, man. I love Kirby covers. And it's not as his other Kirby covers where you see the, you know, in your face, but I do like the way he did it. And I love that one monster, his foot is up in the air, man. That one monster actually looks like the one that's jumping off of the spaceship. He looks a little bit like Amiibo.
I like the one that's with the foot in the air. It's like the hammer caught him.
Yeah, it's just the wind of the hammer.
Yeah, just the wind of the hammer just got him.
Like, yeah, but he does look a little bit like Amiibo. Yeah,
I mean, a little bit of a handsome resemblance.
Here we go. The icon, the franchise, the king of them all when it comes to the superheroes of the Silver Age, the one, the only, the Amazing Spider-Man. You know what book it is. Go ahead, tell the world, Cliff.
Amazing Fantasy number 15. Number
15 came out in 1962 in Marvel Comics. The high sale of this book was $3.6 million. And a 9.6, and that was in September of 2021. Last sale of this book was $10,800 and a 0.5. 0.5, you spend $10,000.
That feels desperate. I hope it was a good looking 0.5.
I hope so too.
There are good looking 0.5s. Let's be clear. You know, like
it could be a missing page. It could be a
missing page. It could be that the whole book isn't even together. It's just pressed together into the slab.
Now, keep in mind a few things. Let me get back to the stats, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. $11,461 at a fair is the raw price. However, 2.5 is the average for the graded books, and that's going for $18,600. The census count is actually pretty high. 4,124 copies in the census. Of course, this is the first appearance of Spider-Man Peter Parker. It's also the first appearance of Aunt May. It's also the first appearance and death of Uncle Ben. We get to learn a little bit more about his universe in the other book known as Amazing Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. This is a classic, man. This is the book that most people want to have in their collection one day. I know I would. Whew, what I'd give to put that book right in the back wall right here, just have it right there to have everyone see it. I love it. It's a phenomenal cover. I love this cover. Like, you can't beat this cover. That's how good this cover is. And doesn't that guy kind of look a little bit like Jack Kirby that he's holding?
A little, I guess.
There's a little Jack Kirby in there as well. But it is, from my understanding, it's a Kirby and Ditko cover. That's what I've been told.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, so it's a little, well, it's because Kirby didn't really get the character the way Ditko got the character. Kirby's version of Spider-Man was really strong. And, you know, Stan Lee's approach was, no, we don't want to do that. Oh, look, congratulations, Ralph. He has a coverless AS-15. That's pretty cool. So that makes me think about this. So Rattlesnake has a coverless AF-15. If you were to get just the front page, Would you put it together? Frankenstein, in other words.
Of course, why not?
Regardless, so you'll get like a restored or what's
No,
that
I'll
term?
tell them. I'll just tell them. I'll just tell them. What do you call it? I'll be like, yo, I would just like get whatever. I'll be like, give me the blue label. Just figure it out.
So Tate Prime is saying that there is one on eBay for $10,800. That's chip has a lot of marble chipping, but still nice. Mm-hmm. Kirby characters use PED. They do. Nice. All right, let's go to our next book, and that's gonna go to Loki. All right, the God of Mischief. I personally love the villain Loki, and I love how his character has evolved in the MCU, but I still absolutely love the villain Loki. He made his debut only 2 issues later in Journey into Mysteries 85, also 1962. His book has a high sale of 90,000 at a 9.6, and that was in June of 2025 last year. $1,000 at a 3.0 was the last sale that was recorded. Raw went for $721 at a good, and that's the average fair market value. 1,400 at a 2.4, and there's currently 1,992 copies in the census. Not only is this the first appearance of Loki, there's also the first appearance of Heimdall. It's the first appearance that we get to see Asgard. There is a cameo from Odin, so it's technically his first appearance. And it's also the first appearance of Balder. So this is like a super key. But of course, everybody talks about that Loki cover.
I mean, 1,000 for the 3.0 is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
You gotta save $1,000 to get a 3.0.
I mean, I mean, it's not the top of my list. I'm just saying it's not bad. I mean, like if it were in front of me and I had the money.
Well, $720 isn't so bad either for this kind of book.
No, it's not. But like, having it already slabbed for $1,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mm-hmm, exactly. All right. Moving on to our next character here, and that's Iron Man, Tony Stark himself. He made his debut not in a Tony Stark book, but in Tales of Suspense, issue number 39, also in 1962. There was something in the air in 1962, Cliff. For Marvel Comics, this has a high sale of $840,000 and 9.8. That is remarkable to me. April 2024. Last sale of this book was $1,700 at 8.5. The Raw goes for $1,262 at a fair, $5,942 at a 3.5. There's currently 3,033 copies in the census.
I'm surprised there's that many, but that's great.
Yeah. Well, this is more of a common book in comparison to other books. In fact, I was at Terrific Con this year with Lunch Money Comics. So I was with Mike with Lunch Money Comics, and they were selling this book, and we were present, and he was able to get the book at about I think he got it for about 3,000. A really nice copy too. So,
I was pretty sure because I was there too. I'm pretty sure
I was there though. I was there when the sale was made.
I was pretty sure he was trying not to publicize what he paid. You heard it here, folks.
No, I think he did. But then again, it's a comic. You know what the price of a comic book is, but he was able to get a really good, solid deal from it.
He got a very good deal because Homeboy almost didn't want to give it up.
Well, it took a lot of talking. Like I'm just saying, someone had to do some talking. But I'm really happy he was able to get a copy, so that's pretty cool. What's going on, Rich? How you doing? All right. Dale, I need that book. There's a lot of books we need. Let's go to our next icon, and that is Doctor Strange. Stephen Strange. His is a very, very interesting one. For those of you who don't know, he made his first appearance in Strange Tales 110. So that makes sense. He made his first appearance in Strange Tales, right? He's not in the cover. Came out in 1962 from Marvel Comics. This has a high sale of $150,000 and 9.6. also in April of 2024. Last sale of this book was $1,175 at a 3.0. Raw goes for $1,579 and very good, while the
Oh, it's just me here. Okay. Oh, that's upsetting.
I didn't know I got cut off. When did I get cut off?
I don't even know. I thought it was me. I straight up thought it was me. And then the next thing you know, I'm alone on the screen and I'm like, oh, wait, it's me? I'm like, oh, no.
Because I'm talking at first and I'm looking at you and you're literally like this. So I'm thinking you're just frozen. So I don't know where did we get cut off? Did I manage to give the stats?
You gave the stats. Talking you somewhere just after talking about how he's not on the cover. But yeah, we get Doctor Strange, Ancient One, Wong, Nightmare, Dreamstalker. That's a whole lot you get in this book.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget Paste Pop Pete.
Oh yeah, Paste Pop Pete, future trapster.
This is one of those books that, yeah, Doctor Strange and Strange Tales. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
However, he's not in the cover.
I mean, those were the days.
He was a secondary character. No, he's nowhere found in the cover. Nowhere. And then he eventually takes over the book. So, but it is important to note. It is important to note that Doctor Strange was a co-creation of Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. So where it's not a Kirby situation, it's more of a Ditko situation. And Steve Ditko was the co-creator of Doctor Strange. So I don't know if that has something to do with why he's not in the cover. I don't know. But I do believe that is a Ditko cover.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. And Doctor Strange is a very interesting guy. And they both do this, if you know, Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
Well, Spider-Man,
but he was always doing. There was some symbolism involved in that, from what I remember. So it was definitely Ditko doing some symbolism.
It was easy for them to repeat the drawing. That's what I'm thinking.
A little bit of that too. All right, let's get to our next book here. The Doom Patrol. Yep, that's right. We got a DC book. Doom Patrol Chief, Negative Man, Elastigirl, and a Robot Man. They made their first appearance in a little book called My Greatest Adventure, issue number 80. This came out in 1963 for DC Comics, a high sale of $3,107 at 9.0. That was in August of 2016. That was a while ago now. Prime. Last sale of this book was $875 at a 7.5. The difference between DC and Marvel at this time is crazy when you think about it. Raws are going for $258 at a very good. Graders are going for $476 at 5.0. This has a very low census count. It's not even 100. It's not even 800. 763 copies in the census, and this is the first appearance of the Doom Patrol.
Very good. I mean, you know, you could swing it. You could swing it for 7.5.
Yeah. This
And
is a surprisingly very affordable key.
Yes.
You know, when it comes to Silver Age, but that is the difference between DC books and Marvel books at this time. All right.
No, yeah.
Now, remember what I told you. This is a chronological order, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
the X-Men aren't here yet.
So there is some controversy behind it. Here's my honest opinion. They talk to each other. They share their ideas with each other. Somehow they started thinking the same way.
Sure.
Doom Patrol and the X-Men are surprisingly similar to each other, but they are very much different from each other as well. I don't know. But there is some discussion. Did Stan Lee steal the idea? I think he borrowed parts of the idea. I don't think he stole the idea.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay. Borrowed. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the idea of the wheelchair guy, the fact that they were different. But besides that, I can't think of much similarities. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, pretty much that's it.
Let's get to them. Let's get to the X-Men. So we got X-Men, and let's not forget Magneto as well, Professor X. They all made their appearance just about a month later with X-Men #1 that came out in 1963 from Marvel Comics. This has a high sale of $872,000 at a 9.6, and that was September of 2022. Last sale of this book was $4.8 thousand at a 4.0. Raws goes for about $830 at a fair, while the graded copies goes for $6,000 at a 3.5. There's currently 6,860 copies in the census. This is the first appearance of Cyclops, Beast, Angel, Marvel Girl, Iceman, Professor X, which will be the X-Men, and their arch enemy, Magneto.
7 first appearances, baby. 7 first appearances.
Mm-hmm. There's septuplic. I don't know how to call it. So I have to say, I love the X-Men. I absolutely love the X-Men. And yeah, to that point, I think they were influenced by each other. I don't think they rightly stole from each other, but they were definitely influenced from each other. Yeah. I love you too, Tate. Good seeing you, bro. So,
Can I speak?
Tell me about the beauty of the X-Men and what the X-Men mean, especially at this time. Why were they created?
Well, I mean, at that time, it was just like because they're different and how we treat different people. And it's the 60s and civil rights movements are happening everywhere, 63. So, I mean, it's funny because, like, they are and aren't all these things, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy because they really do symbolize the outcast in every form, and there's something to be said that when you are growing up different, period, like you grew up different in a family that's different, and that family is like, you gotta be better, you gotta be twice as good as the next guy out there for you to succeed. That kind of thing. And then here Professor X kind of embodies that with, like, I swear to protect the people who would destroy us. We're going to protect mankind.
Yeah. And as a lot of people talked about, it was during the time of the civil rights movement. So tension was high in 63 because this came right in the heart of all that, right? All this happened, JFK assassination, Robert Kennedy, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. All of this is happening around this time. So the X-Men are a reflection of that. Right, they themselves not being of color, because again they didn't come to that point just yet. We're going to get there very soon, but they were that example, right? They were meant to be that example within a comic books. How can we share something that are ideals within a comic book? So it's very politically based in that way without going overly into it, if that makes sense, right? And again, you got to look at Jack Kirby's influence on this book as well. So Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, the ideology behind it is amazing, to the point that at that time they were all about discrimination, but then as time progresses, they kept that thematic thing alive within the new X-Men, right? So giant size X-Men with the diversity side of things, obviously when it comes to sexual orientation and everything of that nature, they literally became the minorities in every scenario. And I think that's one of the lasting effects of the X-Men today. So in the 60s, they started here. It died down, of course, in the early 70s, and we returned back to its glories in the late 70s with Claremont, then later John Byrne, and moving forward with the rest. So, I am a huge X-Men fan. I've always been an X-Men fan. They were my comic book in the 80s. I love reading X-Men, Spider-Man. Those were my two books back when I was a kid. So they have to be in the list. So I don't know. I know Tate had to leave, but Tate, X-Men are here.
They are. Sobriety test. Sobriety test.
Speaking of X-Men, we got some more mutants, or shall we call them miracles? Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, they made their debut just a few issues later in X-Men number 4. This book came out in 1964 from Marvel Comics. We have a high sale of $26,290 and a 9.8, and that was back in July 2012. So it's been a long time since this book had a high sale. $815 at a 2.0 was the last sale of this book. This book's raw goes for about $1,150. Very good. 1.2 thousand and 4.0. And there's 3,890 copies in the census. This is the first appearance of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants: Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, Toad, and Mastermind. But let's be honest, it's about Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. They're the icons here.
They are.
The other are fun secondary characters.
They have been mutants, not secondary. She is the Scarlet Witch, and
I'm talking about. I said the other ones, bro. Relax.
Those people. And then
I didn't say Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. I said the other ones.
Right, those other guys, Mastermind, Toad. Yeah, we see you.
I love Toad, man. I don't give Toad some love, man.
It's hard because he's fun, and then it went from fun to the big joke.
When they read it online, when they read it on the script, they thought it was brilliant, and then it just did not translate well.
No, it did not.
Celebrating 33 months. Wow. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for supporting the channel. Really appreciate it. Here's the funny thing about Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, which I always thought. All right. Oh, look, Dales of Suspense has renewed his membership. Thank you so much. All right. Celebrating 1 month. Woohoo! They were the two characters that were able to get out of being part of the mutants, right? When they went to the Avengers on Avengers issue 16, I always remember Avengers 16 because it was like a casting, right? They were hiring new Hawkeye was getting a new team together and stuff like that. And then Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver ended up joining the team as a result of that. So they escaped being part of the mutants and being part of the X-Men for a very long time. I can't even remember when they finally brought them back into the mutant world, because they were very separated for that long time. They did them dirty in the Ultimate Universe, though.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, that was what the hell was that? A Jeff Loeb idea, turning them into a loving pair, or was that a
you mean the incestuous relationship? I think a lot of people
Jeff Loeb.
No, I think a lot of people always toyed with that idea, like, oh, haha, they're gypsies. They're so close. Because really, they were inseparable for the longest time.
Yeah.
And I think Jeff Loeb is like, hey, this is the Ultimate Universe. Let's go for it. Which, look, he rolled the dice, and I get it. And people were like, oh no. But when she was checking out robots, when they went to
she's always had like
that was funny.
She always had some situation, man. Like Scarlet Witch in general, man, her choices of men were very interesting. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Of course, when you deal with Scarlet Witch, you have to deal with the fact that she does go through emotional stress, trauma in her life. So there's a lot of trauma when it comes to it. With Quicksilver is just a jerk sometimes, you know what I mean? So
Well, because being a speedster, he wants stuff to get done.
yeah. So there's your icons there. Let's go to our next group. Speaking of which, Black Widow. We're going to look at Natasha Romanoff. She made her debut in Tales of Suspense issue number 52. This is 1964 for Marvel Comics. We have a high sale of $28,800 and 9.4. That was in March of 2023. Last sale was $361 at a very good. $412 for a very good. Raw is the average. Fair market value. $489 at a 4.0 is the graded fair market value. 2,440 copies in the census. We got ourselves our first appearance of the Black Widow, the gorgeous new menace of the Black Widow. Check out that outfit, man. She strutted.
Yeah, well, that's when she was full-blown villain, a full-blown villain, and also it's like, I'm sorry,
she had the little veil on too.
I'm like, you're supposed to be a super spy. What are you wearing?
It was the James Bond era, man. What do you expect?
I
mean,
mean,
like a Bond girl.
I know, but it's outrageous.
No, it was the 60s.
Okay.
It was the 60s. She's one of those characters that's endured and went through so many different types of changes to the point that we got now. Because if I remember the short hair version, remember the short hair version of Black Widow that she was in Daredevil a lot?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I was gonna say, well, that was a whole other time. Boy, those were some thirsty men. Right, in that series.
Mm-hmm. And it is interesting how these books have dropped in value, but it has everything to do with the MCU effect, right? She's gone. Will she come back? Yeah, I'm sure she will. They'll pay Scarlett Johansson some good money to come back. She'll be in Secret Wars. I almost guarantee it. I'm 95% sure she'll be in Secret Wars.
And I'm sitting here like, yep, we'll see. We will see.
We'll see, right?
Yeah,
right.
what happens. I'm just saying that's an awfully large mess that they're gonna be slopping up.
What about Daredevil? Speaking of which, right? He made his debut in his own comic book, Daredevil #1 in 1964 for Marvel Comics. This has a high sale of $250,000 at 9.8. That was in March of 2021. Last sale, this book was $1,236 at a no grade. $569 in fair is the raw fair market value, while the graded fair market value is $2,365 at a 4.0. Excuse me. This has a lot of copies. 7,057 copies in the census. First appearance of Daredevil Matt Murdock. First appearance of Karen Page. First appearance of Foggy Nelson. And they were so concerned that this book wasn't going to sell that they put Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four in the cover just to ensure that this book could sell.
I mean, right? I was gonna say, they're like, just in case, Spidey's got to be on there.
Yeah,
and and it wasn't even like they don't meet for several issues. It's like, from the people who brought you Spider-Man, this is Daredevil.
Well, yeah, it's exactly. It says it just like this. Remember when we introduced Spider-Man? I'm trying to do my best Stan Lee in this moment, right? A worthy companion magazine to such all-time greats as the Fantastic Four. In this issue, you will meet the most unusual hero of all, Matt Murdock, fun-loving Foggy Nelson, and gorgeous Karen Page. I love it. I love when comics do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know what? Daredevil has, first and foremost, what was he thinking with this outfit?
Well, it is a blind man designing it, so we could start there.
But he understood yellow and red?
Maybe it was just all the fabric he had access to. It wasn't like he was a rich lawyer.
but he understood that it was a vest.
Yes.
Right? He got the vest. And isn't this now the costume for D-Man?
Yes.
Very similar now, right?
Yeah. Well, no, D-Man like found this outfit and just started wearing it.
Oh man, so much fun. I love this book. This is a good book. Another a very affordable key. Yeah, and it's a Wallace Wood cover, in fact. He preferred to be called Wallace. He actually did not like the term Wally. So a lot of people didn't know that too.
Well, probably because, what Wally means in France. Look at Green Goblin showing up here. Look at that.
Green Goblin makes the list. Norman Osborn himself. He made his debut in Amazing Spider-Man 14, 1964 from Marvel Comics. We have a high sale of $210,000 at a 9.8 September 2021. Last sale of this book, believe it or not, was a no grade for $20.
I kind of love that.
Just the thought that this book sold for $20. I'm certain it was probably like a page or something, right? Because it's a no grade. Raw sale, raw fair market value is $858 at a good, while the fair market value for graded books is $1,571 at a 4.0. There's 5,918 copies in the census. This is the first appearance of Green Goblin. However, we do not know it's Norman Osborn until much later. So I don't even think they even reveal the fact that he's Norman Osborn, which I dig a lot when it comes to this character, like to the point that you didn't make the connection just yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what we're sorely missing in comic books these days. You know what I mean?
Right. They worked the mystery and did not overwork the mystery.
Well, they didn't do this thing where they both debuted at the same time. Like, oh, this new character, Norman Osborn, shows up, right? And by the way, there's this new villain, Green Goblin, right? It could have been just coincidental that both characters showed up in the same book, but it always gives you that thought process of, oh, they both show up in the same book. We don't get Norman until much later. So here is simply Green Goblin, and then we get Norman, which I think is the best way of doing it because that takes off the scent of the thought. And I think that's what's so great. And again, it's another great Steve Ditko cover.
And the reveal is just so horrifying for Spidey, too.
Yeah, it's a good reveal. And dare I say, Green Goblin is one of these villains that really, he knew how to get to Spidey. You know what I mean? He knew how to get to Spidey in the most craziest way, but at the same time, there was also this respect for him when he was Norman, right? So Norman respects Peter, but he hates Spider-Man, which I think, which is so cool in this storyline. I don't know what's going on with that. His little rocket there.
Well, it was the first. It was a prototype.
Yeah, something, right?
Also we know he was a little crazy. Also, I mean, the throttle may have given him a little thrill.
Okay,
given him a thrill.
Yeah, maybe, quite possible. Just throwing that out there. All right. Speaking of really cool characters, Hawkeye makes the list. Clint Barton himself. He made his debut in Tales of Suspense, issue number 57, just a couple of issues after the first appearance of Black Widow in 1964 from Marvel Comics. This has a high sale of $102,000 in a 9.8. That was in June of 2022. Last sale of this book was $450 at a 4.0. The raws go for $319 and very good. The graded copies go for $545 at a 5.0. 3,054 copies in the census. This is the first appearance of Clint Barton. But really what's more interesting to me, it's also an appearance of Black Widow. So you could tell right from the beginning, they always had that connection with each other. And in this comic book, Hawkeye was originally a villain who turned into a hero.
Yeah, as with Black Widow too.
Yeah. I think Black Widow was more of a villain till then she became a hero. I think in Hawkeye's case, he was a misunderstood villain, if I remember.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure every time the two of them have chit chat about it, they're like, when we were criminals
in Budapest.
Yeah. When we were straight up lovers at that time.
Yeah.
I
love Hawkeye. I love Hawkeye. He's one of my, and that costume, man. I'm so mad that we didn't get the actual costume. I wanted that. I wanted to see that mask. I know it probably would have looked silly and stuff like that, but I wanted to see that mask. Just, that's how I feel.
I get it.
Our next character is Zatanna. She makes the list for obvious reasons, of course. She made her debut in the one book that when I saw this, I was like, really? Really? It was Hawkman issue number 4. Came out in 1963 for DC Comics. This has a high sale of $20,000 at a 9.6 in September of 2021. Last sale of this book was $272 at a 2.5. Ross goes for $286 at a very good. $511 at a 5.0. There's currently 1,992 copies in the census. Did you know she made her first appearance in Hawkman?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
And so again, she's not on the cover. Back in the day, they're like, let's just throw somebody in.
She's not in the cover. Is she part of the Hawkman story, though?
She's the backup story. And let me tell you this. What issue is her father's first appearance?
He goes way back to, isn't it Action Comics?
Which one?
One.
It is Action 1. Yes, very good. Yeah. We don't see him on the cover either. He's just in there.
Let's be honest, it's very different. That was very different. But this is one of those. Really? She didn't make the cover?
No, because come on, it's 63. That could still happen.
What she was wearing? She should have made the cover. I bet you the book would have sold better.
They were pervy back then, but I don't know that they were thinking so much.
I would have like, let's just put her right here. She should be the one falling from the sky. I'm just saying.
Again, she was new. What did they know?
This book will never tell you this is her first appearance.
No,
never.
You gotta know. You gotta know.
Yeah, that's why the price of this book is so low. I dare I say it's criminally low.
Yeah. Now, I believe DC Superstars of Magic Giant is her first cover. I think that's her first cover.
Yeah.
And that one's pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's go to our next character, and that's a double. Silver Surfer and Galactus. They made their first appearance in Fantastic Four issue 48 for 1966 from Marvel Comics. This has a high sale of $108,000 at 9.8. That was in June of 2021. You're starting to see a little pattern here in June. June had a lot of sales. June of 2021 was a big time for comic sales. Last sale was $2,834 and an 8.0. Raws go for $930, very good. $684 at a 4.5. This is probably one of the highest runs census counts then from all of these books. 10,822 copies in the census. This is the first appearance of Silver Surfer, but it's also the first cameo of Galactus.
Yes.
All right. This is interesting to me. Now, I do know a few years ago, probably about 2 years ago, they uncovered in a warehouse, I think it was in a warehouse, a lot of copies of this book, original copies of the first issue. So that's why the census count has boosted up. But to think, this is a book that many people want to have in their collection. It's just one of those books. It's classic, right?
Yeah, and if you can get a good deal, jump on it.
Yeah, exactly. This is one, but I think the one that I personally, if I wanted one, this is cool because it does say it's the coming of Galactus. You have this, this feeling of, oh my goodness, something bad's gonna happen, but it's not till we get to this one, and that's Fantastic Four 49 that came out in 1966 from Marvel Comics. This has a high sale, $192,000, and yes, it's a 9.9 in November of 2022. There is a 9.9 of this book. Would you believe that? Last sale of this book is $385 at a 4.0. Raws go for $379, very good. While the graded copies go for $4,858 at a 4.5. This also has a bit of a high census count at 7,416. This is the first appearance of Galactus, and this is also the first cover appearance of Silver Surfer. Dare I say, it's the better of the two, in my opinion.
I mean, it's definitely better looking, right?
Yeah,
definitely better. And it's an action, and I love an action-packed cover, and that's an action-packed cover.
Oh, this is Kirby at his best.
Yeah.
This is Kirby at his best, in my opinion. Like, everything about it is just amazing to me. He nothing's wrong in this image. Nothing. You know what I mean? From the coloring, from the way they're running away from him, the way Surfer is right there. To me, this is the best of the trilogy, right? Because it's a trilogy. Even though I think 50 is kind of like it's just like you get this impact from 48 and 49, and then 50 kind of just like, you know what I mean? Like Johnny Storm goes to college.
Yes. Well, do get a beautiful picture of Surfer on the cover.
You do get it, but you also get it in the brown background as well, which is kind of like, ugh. That brown is it's not enticing. Like, no. Where did it come up with the brown?
I mean, it was probably to make back then. It was probably to make Silver Surfer pop more on the cover.
Just put it black, man. He's white, dude.
Look,
I'm just.
They had a lot going on back then. I'm not gonna judge. I don't know their resources.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at our next icon, and that goes to Poison Ivy, Pamela Isley herself. She makes the list, and it's the other 181 that everybody talks about, and that's Batman 181. This came out in 1966 for DC Comics. We have a high sale of 96,009.8. That was in August of 2023. Last sale of this book was $1,100. $1,100. 6.5 it was. The raws go for $429. The graded copy is $387 at a 4.0. There's currently 4,551 copies in the census. I always dig this cover, man. This cover just makes me smile. You know what I mean?
It's got great contrast. Mm-hmm. We got that bright red. Her shadow is perfectly cast in the background. She looks like she's ready to fight Batman and Robin. Not just show up and look leggy.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's so funny because, dare I say, Batman and Robin is a terrible movie.
Right.
Terrible movie.
Yet.
But yet, if you look at this cover, you now know where the concept idea came from. Yes. Where they're like, no, she's mine. No, she's mine. She loves me. I love it. Charlie Green giant vibes. Oh, you know it. That you got some Peter Pan vibes. She's in charge. She could wear whatever she wants to wear, man. That's how it is with Pamela Isley. So all there, man. But this is a cool book. Again, another book that's under $500 that you could probably pick up. It's not bad.
Not bad at all.
I've seen this book a few times for good prices too. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to our next icon. That's T'Challa,
yes,
the Black Panther himself. He made his debut in Fantastic Four 52 in 1966. This has a high sale of $83,650 and 9.8. That was in February of 2016. Last sale of this book was $850 at 6.5. Raw goes for $322 at very good, while the graded copies are $808 at 6.5. There's currently 8,324 copies in the census. His first appearance of Black Panther, the King of Wakanda.
I mean, it's great. I would love to score myself a decent mid-grade copy.
This book has seen some drops lately, of course. But I think it's going to rise up again. It's just one of those books that it's iconic. We have our first Black hero in comics that, that what was so great about it is that, he was a king. He wasn't like some jive turkey, that they would do. They did have to throw in the word black, even though I think most Panthers are black already. So I don't think you need to say that. But dare I say, the term Black Panther seems to roll out the tongue a little bit better than just calling him the Panther.
That is very true.
Yeah, and quite possibly the term the Panther is probably was already out there. Someone probably named him already. So we had to just come up with the Black Panther. It would have been funny if they would have called him the Blue Panther.
Oh my.
Changes everything, doesn't it?
I was like, just thinking about the Pink Panther alone is already upsetting.
And the Pink Panther came out around the same time too.
Yeah. So like, no, we can't have this.
All right, let's go to our next book here. And that's going to go to Blue Beetle Ted Kord himself. He makes the list. He made his debut in Captain Atom 83, 1966 from Charlton Comics. High sale of this book is $7,200 and 9.8. That was in November of 2023. Last sale of this book, believe it or not, $129 at a fine. Raws goes for $76. That's very good. Graded copies 250 at 7.0. But look at that census count. 584 copies in the census.
Wow.
This book is so cheap that if I see this book at this price, I'm buying it.
I mean, yeah, 76 for very good, 129 for a fine. I mean, yeah.
Like, I saw this and I was amazed by this. Like, Blue Beetle is iconic, especially for the Charlton characters. He's the biggest character of the Charlton characters, in my opinion. You know, obviously with Peacemaker now taking front and center, but even then, Peacemaker before John Cena, no one cared about Peacemaker. Nobody cared about Peacemaker. The Question, very close.
Yep.
But I think Blue Beetle, and this is a Silver Age version of Blue Beetle. This is not the first Blue Beetle. But Ted Kord is very important to this whole world with the Charlton characters. Yeah. I think we will get Ted Kord sooner or later.
Well, it depends on if our Blue Beetle story from the Blue Beetle movie sticks in this DCU.
So if you remember from that movie, which I actually do love that movie. I like that movie a lot. The Blue Beetle movie is so disconnected from the DCU, the DC extended universe, that you could say it was part of the DCU.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to explain it. You know what I mean? You could just say, no, he was always in this universe. And chances are he is going to do that because they are going to bring back Blue Beetle, but in animated form, from what I know. And that would mean we're going to get our Ted Kord.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's definitely been confirmed. All right. Our next character, Barbara Gordon herself, Batgirl. All right. Excuse me, guys. I need a drink. Give me 1 second while I get a drink because I've been texting them to bring me something. Look, now you have a drink. Give the world some love, Cliff. I'll be back.
Give the world some love. I love all you folks, you know, especially thinking about this weekend, you know, just how much all of you mean to me and how special this community really is to myself and to so many other people. And I mean, I guess I could start with that. Also, I got a wedding coming up next week and it's driving me crazy. Grizzlebees, thank you. Thank you. I love these guys. Still upset how they treated Ted Kord. They messed him up in the Great Beetle Gold partnership. They go back and forth. They go back and forth on that. Garth is here too.
Yeah, I needed something.
There you go.
Have you ever met Ralph?
Which Ralph?
Empathetic.
No, I don't think. Wait, have we?
It's quite possible.
It's possible. I don't think so.
Bitten apple.
Then I don't think so.
All right. So where were we? Okay, Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, right?
Batgirl.
Gotta love the Batgirl. She made her debut in 1966 for DC Comics at Detective Comics 359. Her high sales, $132,000, 9.8. That was in January 2021. Last sale of this book is $1,250 at a 7.0. Raw goes for $371, very good. while graded copies you get for about $452 at a 4.5. The CGC census count is 3,862. This is such a cool comic. This is such a cool cover. Now, was she in response to the Batman TV series? I don't know, because she came out at the same time as the TV series.
I feel like it was we're just doing this.
Mm-hmm. And then she finally makes the TV series about a year later.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Which makes sense. So maybe they knew something. It's quite possible.
Oh, we met at Terrificon. I met Ralph at Terrificon. Yes. Yes. There we go.
And TVH, finally a book I own. So don't feel just. You know what? I'll give it to you, man. I did see that. I did see the book, and I'm happy. DVH, let me know which grade was it. What's the grade you got for the book again? So, but this is such a great color. The colors in this book, I was gonna say, very interesting choice of purple or maroon or whatever color you is you're doing here.
Purple, but I like it. I like it.
Yeah, it's cool, especially the way you see it's kind of grain. It's grainy, so it's not like the solid color. It's grainy in that way. But this is a great cover. You know, is she heroine or villainess? What is her starling secret identity? The $1 million debut of Batgirl.
Boy, they were predicting big with that $1 million debut.
Well, keep in mind, they say her name twice. Meet the new Batgirl.
Yes.
The $1 million debut of Batgirl.
Yes.
Did I mention Batgirl?
Yep. Well, I think because they really wanted to hit a home run. This ain't that trash that we were throwing at you because we didn't want Batman and Robin to be gay. This is Batgirl. This is the Batgirl.
This is the Batgirl. And she don't got no purse. She got a satchel.
That's right. She got utility. She got a satchel. She's got utility belt spots. She's ready.
You know it. Let's see. Technically, we got geek talk. Technically, Barbara Gordon's modern Batgirl is Batgirl Betty Kane, who first appeared in Batman 139 in 1961. Thank you so much for the information, JSS.
That's why I was saying, it's Batgirl. Remember, we said Batgirl, not that trash Batgirl, this Batgirl.
She was just a prototype. She ain't the real thing.
I know, but
the real thing.
I mean, she's still arown. She's Batwoman's niece. She's Flamebird in the West Coast Titans. She's all these things.
She's done a lot of things in her time.
She has.
She has done a lot of things in her time, but she'll always be Batgirl to me.
There you go. Wait, no, I'm talking about the other Batgirl.
Oh, I don't care about the other Batgirl.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, she's doing all the things. This one's the one putting down the work.
All right. We talked about this, so he made the list. Kingpin Wilson Fisk. He was one of those borderline guys, right? But he made the list. He made his debut in an iconic book, Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 50, 1967 from Marvel Comics. This has a high sale of $99,000 and 9.8, and that was in November of 2022. Last sale of this book was $380 at a no grade. Another no grade. Interesting. Raws goes for $490 at a very good, while a graded copy you can get for $623 at a 4.5. There's currently 8,651 copies in the census. Now, first of all, this story is iconic, right? The Spider-Man No More story is a very iconic story, but I think Kingpin does get overshadowed in this story because of the story for Spider-Man. However, I think what makes Kingpin iconic, and this is where the argument comes from, and I don't think it's an argument we disagreed in, because there was some other characters that didn't quite make the list, I say. I think when it comes to why Kingpin is iconic is because he is the villain for not one, but 3 superheroes. Spider-Man first. He became the major villain for Daredevil, and he's also a key villain for Punisher. In fact, Punisher only has 2 villains because he kills them all. So, the 2 he can't kill is Kingpin and Jigsaw. And Kingpin is just a dominating figure, right? He's like a final boss type character. He's always he is the street level Thanos, in other words. So therefore he deserves this place, I would say.
Street level Thanos.
Why not? Isn't he?
Sure.
Come on, you gotta look at it from that perspective. He is the street level Thanos, in my view.
I mean, I wouldn't die on that hill, but I think it's a nice comparison.
He ain't cosmic.
He ain't cosmic.
He ain't cosmic.
I do think Tombstone is a little scarier, personally.
But Tombstone has a different motivational factor. You know what I mean?
That may be.
Kingpin is evil. You know what I mean? He's just straight up evil. But he's evil in such a weird way, right? And yes, he knows Rico Act inside. He knows how to get out of that. So therefore Kingpin makes the list. All right.
No. The guy with the lubricant salesman. It's all his fault. Look,
Okay.
all the evidence is there.
We're getting to I think we have one more after this one, and that's the Vision. Vision is such a cool character. He made his debut in 1968 in Avengers 57 from Marvel Comics in this classic John Buscema cover. This book has a high sale of 35,000 at a 9.8, and that was in April of 2022. $705 and 8.5 was the last sale of this book. Raw goes for $163, very good. $454 and a 7.0. 7,002 copies in the census. Behold the Vision.
Beautiful.
This is a great cover, but
It is a great cover.
It is a creation of a villain that we did not include in this list, and that's Ultron.
Ultron.
Didn't quite make it.
Ultron didn't quite. Okay. All right.
Well, Ultron had to come first, right? Before Vision, because he's the creation.
I'm just saying Ultron is a major Avengers villain to not make in the list.
He is.
I knew you were going to saber-tooth me at some point, and you saber-toothed me with Ultron.
I gotta give some of the indie guys some love, man.
Do we? Must we?
Yeah.
You know, did Captain Atom need all that?
Captain Atom's not in the list.
We did Captain Atom.
No, we didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, we didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, we didn't. Guys in the chat, let them know that we didn't do Captain Atom.
You did a Captain Atom.
We did an issue of Captain Atom.
Well, that's almost as good as including him.
No, it was Blue Beetle's first appearance, not Captain Atom.
It was Blue Beetle's first appearance and a Captain Atom, but you did a 2-for-1 in there. You did a 2-for-1 in there, and now you're trying to squeeze a 2-for-1 out of this.
I didn't even mention Captain Atom.
Other than the issue, the number.
That's it.
All right. Okay.
Tell me about Vision. What makes Vision?
Oh my God, I love Vision. I love that Vision is an artificial life form and yet finds emotional intelligence in like trying to evolve, which leads to him turning against his creator, which is Ultron. You know, I love that his brainwaves are built off of Wonder Man's brainwaves, which you find out later, which explains things like his attraction to Wanda. I love the convoluted relationship of Scarlet Witch, and again, a synthetic male being. How she thought she got pregnant, I don't know. We all should have saw that coming a long time ago. That she magicked that. Yeah.
Yo, Jim Shooter's stories are insane, man.
They are insane. The man was
Avengers 200. If you guys have never read Avengers 200, read it. You will be blown away by that story.
Oh my God, that story is outrageous, and it's really bad. If you want to laugh at how something horrible something is, Avengers 200 is for you.
Avengers 200 is words cannot describe how insane that book is. I think Izzy got you on this. DVH is on my side.
That was only on the Ultron thing, but okay, or the Blue Beetle Captain Atom thing.
Okay. One could win an Emmy playing. Yeah.
All
right. All right. I think we've reached our final, and it's Vampirella. You know, Vampirella had to make this list.
Yeah. You
She
screamed.
had to make the list, and of course, she made her first appearance in Vampirella #1. This book came out right at the very tail end of the 60s in 1969 for Warren Publications. This book has a high sale of $78,000 and 9.8. That was January 2024. Last sale of this book was $2,395 at a 8.0. Raw goes for $717. Very good. The graded copies go for $2,310 at 8.0. There's 1,278 copies in the census. This features Vampirella in her first appearance and her cover. It's an iconic cover by Mr. Frank Frazetta. And as we talked about, he does have another image where she is not wearing her iconic outfit. And dare I say, she's not wearing anything else.
I believe she's facing the other direction.
No, she is not.
All right, but she does still have some kind of collar on.
I saw the image. I'll send you the link. All right. Tell me about Vampirella.
Actually, I can't tell you much. I was like, I don't know anybody who knows anything about her other than how she looks. You know? I mean, like, she's Vampirella. I know
she's a vampire. We know that much.
She's got nonstop crossovers. I remember the crossover with Shadowhawk, where she bit him, made him into a vampire, and therefore it cured his HIV. And then he went to that children's hospital because he figured he's just going to bite all these kids and make them vampires and cure them. And that was the ending of that series. Does anybody else remember that?
Did he die eventually?
Oh, no. In his continuity, he died. But in that crossover, you know.
DVH wants the link as well. I'll get you the link if you want to.
Then, as we know, Shadowhawk 2 came out.
Yeah. So let's get out of Shadowhawk. We're not talking about Shadowhawk. We're talking about Vampirella here. All right, Vampirella.
Oh, she got the cuff on her arm. She's got the cuff on her arm.
Yeah, and that's what everybody's looking at.
Well, I'm looking at it because I can. Because I'm observant.
She's an alien, not technically a vampire, in my opinion. Okay.
He would be right. He would be right.
She is Vampirella. So,
there we go.
And there you have it, guys. There is our list of the top icons from the 60s. I hope you enjoyed this list. It will be an article on Go Collect in the next couple of, I'll say in about a week or two, it'll be there. Right now, our casting call is in Go Collect as we speak. It actually came out on Sunday night. So it's been there for a couple of days now. So if you want to read that article. What was that?
I was pleasantly surprised.
It was fun. It was fun doing it. When I sent it over to the editor, he was like, "Oh, this is cool." I was like, "We're gonna do more." So we definitely will do more. What's next after this? We did the 60s.
Now come the 50s.
Are we gonna do the 50s? Because that's a little different. Where the 60s we have a bunch. Do we have as many in the 50s?
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll just turn into a golden age thing. Maybe we'll see what happens.
We'll have to do the whole golden age.
Yeah, why not? Because 30. We're not going to do the 30s because everybody starts at 38.
True.
Well, we'll see. Maybe we'll get to it. We'll see what happens. I don't know if I could pull up 25 characters from the 50s.
And yet you had a cajillion characters for the 60s.
Dude, I'm telling you, if I could pull up that list right now, I would show it to you. It is insanity how many characters I ended up getting. So there you have it, guys. Let's get this out of the stream here. Whew. So what were you telling them while I was gone?
Just how I love the community, especially now after this weekend. I've really been thinking about how much we mean to each other and just how much I value the friendships that I've made here. You know, thanks to YouTube and streaming software and our love of comics.
Oh man, if Papa was here right now, he'd be disgusted.
He would.
You're like, oh, Cliff, stop it! It's disgusting me.
And then I'd be like, all right, Papa, that's okay. And then he give me the finger salute, and that'll be that.
Oh my goodness. We haven't spoken about a book that's been extremely hot. I think now's the time for us to start talking about that, because it is now time for the top trending comics of the week. And boy, you're going to be shocked. But are you? Top trending comic books for the second week of February 2026. We got some 4 big books right here. We got some returning books, but we also got some new books in this list. This list is comprised of the books that come from Cover Price, CBSI, as well as Key Collector and Comic Tom's list. So what I end up doing, I put those books all together. I check out the fair market values of each book. I also check out what was the last sale of the book, and include the total sales within the last 7 days and the 30 days, as well as the hype value with them. And that's how we end up getting this list. So with that said, Cliff, we got 4 books on this starter piece. Your immediate thoughts before we move forward.
Hype cover, Heat book, hype cover, and then hype book. And I can't explain what's going on there. I've been interrogating people, and they all give me robotic responses, and I am concerned.
You're starting with the controversy again?
It is a controversy. People are straight up coming out and be like, I couldn't give this ash can away. I couldn't give it away. And then this book becomes this wild sleeper hit, and there's no actual thing. And then I read the book. I love it, and I love the success. I'm really happy for the creators and their success in this, but there's not much there. It's not like I'm reading something absolutely revolutionary. There's not. There's a character. There's a MacGuffin. I mean, I've played D&D campaigns like this. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what is drawing people to this book? Again, I can only wonder if it's my dear old friend, the shadow council of market manipulators. The shadow council of market.
Anyway, let's go ahead and get into our list. Let's start things off with our honorable mentions. As always, we like to kick things off with the 3 books that didn't quite make the list, but deserve some love. And the first book in this list goes to Assorted Crisis #1. This book has a lot of momentum. It was considered the top read of 2025, so therefore it's still on many people's minds. In fact, all the books are starting to sell really well in the aftermarket. So this book, again, is back in our list. Didn't quite make it. Would have been number 13. Our next book here, Batman Arkham M. Of course, this book is still relatively hot. It still sells like hotcakes. But it's finally starting to cool off. And then our last book is a book that I actually am going to be hunting, and that is Amazing Spider-Man 11, the Benjamin Sue variant featuring Simbi. So we got our honorable mentions. Cliff, take it away.
I really like Assorted Crisis events, and I think Absolute Batman Arkham was a decent story.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that.
You gonna skip on Simbi? How dare you?
I dare.
You gotta give Simbi love. Give Simbi love. Give Simbi some love.
No, Simbi is not for me.
Give him some love. Look how cute he is. He's so cute.
Dude, the last time dark sperm came out of me, I ran out of the room screaming. Pre-order Amazing Spider-Man 11 4th printing now.
That has got to be the most disgusting thing you've ever said on this show. I'm in tears, man. I hope we never talk about Simbi like this ever again.
Are you? No, you opened the door, and I fired the shots, figuratively.
Oh, we gotta clip this one. You ready for number 10? Wait a minute, is anybody watching the Olympics?
Yeah, no one's watching the Olympics right now.
I saw the luge. I did see the luge. Because I really, really wanted to see the luge. I don't know why I did. Oh my god. Send me the equivalent of Batmite or something. I'm never gonna see Simbi again.
No,
I really don't know what's the deal with Simbi. All I know, he's cute. He made it into a cartoon. Oh God, help me, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me breathe. Relax. You ready for number 10?
I gotta be at this point.
We can only go downhill from here.
Yep.
At number 10 in our list is a book that you have some questions about, and that is DOrc number 1. But this is the Ash Can edition that was given.
That was given away.
I know. This came out in 2025, and actually in October of 2025 for Draw to its studios, which eventually would be picked up by Image Comics. $135 near mint value was the last recorded sales value. However, that could have changed between now and then because the book is selling pretty feverishly. Most common fair market value is $192 near mint. This is number 1 in cover price. And 7-day, 30-day sales, 14 sales, 16 sales within the last 30 days. This book is at a hype level of a high. This is our first, truly our first appearance of DOrc.
Yeah. Sure. Of many.
Well, it's the same book at this point.
We're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah. So, this is the first of many that we're going to talk about. But this is the one that really started off. It is a preview book. It is an Ash Can. Also, if you go to the back side of the book, he did sketches on all the books. Is it going? I don't think it'll be at 1K by Friday. I don't think that's the case. I think it'll probably top at maybe 500 in my opinion. But it is an Ash Can, so I'm not sure how many are actually out there in them. So obviously when Ash Cans they're printed low quality, and this is obviously done by an independent channel. So Draw to Its Studios is an indie promotion. It was obviously picked up by Image eventually.
DVH is speaking the truth. DVH is speaking the truth.
And what? Yeah, it's because of everything else. That's what it is. The hype level is high simply because of everything else that's included. So this book is part of that. At the same time, because it's number 1 on one of the lists, that's where the hype level comes into a high. So number 1 automatically puts a book on a high hype level. But DOrc is very on demand as of right now because people are just. I think there is something to do with Absolute Batman in some way. So my personal opinion is that we're getting more new readers into the comics world. Absolute Batman was pretty much a gateway drug for a lot of readers, and now they're coming in and they're seeing these new books and they have some general questions about it. At the same time, as you mentioned, Dungeons and Dragons, this is very much within that same world of Dungeons and Dragons. There's a lot of comparisons of I Hate Fairyland meets Lord of the Rings. It's a comedy, so people are enjoying the comedy. It's coming from a creative that's in the same world of Scotty Young. So I think there is a fan base that goes along with that. I think those are all the things that are putting it together. It was also not this one because this is the ash can. It was extremely low print run, and now people are hunting them down.
Can't really make sense of it other than like if people are thinking they're gonna get an I hate Fairyland experience out of this, then it kind of makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a possibility. So let's take a look at what came in at number 9 in our list here, because it's not DOrc. All right. So the book that came in at number 9 is another book, and it's actually Absolute Wonder Woman issue 16, the Gilla March variant. This is the cover featuring the Absolute version of Zatanna that came out in 2026 for DC Comics. The last recorded sales value is $11 near mint. Most common is $15. As of today, we don't really have any sales for slabs, even though I'm sure they're going to be popping up sooner or later. As far as trending goes, it's number 5 for CBSI. The 7-day, 30-day trend is 35 sales within the last 7 days, 176 within the last 30. Hype level is at a medium.
That 176 like restores the rate.
Yeah, the book has been selling. It's been selling, but it's been meeting its demand, I'll say. So it's not quite sold out. So if you go to the shops, you might actually still see it, especially for a price tag of $11, $15. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now we're going into the hype train with number 8 in our list, and it's the first one. This one is the DOrc number 1, the 1 in 25 Ryan Otley variant. Again, we all know they're coming from Image Comics. Last recorded sales as of this time was $180. It could have changed because it's been selling like crazy. Most common fair market value is $179 near mint, $97 and 9.8. So there are some 9.8s that are being registered. And we're getting sales of 9.8s. They could have been pre-sales or anything like that. Cover prices was number 6 on their list. 7-day, 30-day, we got 30 sales within the last 7, 39 within the last 30, and that's because it's mostly been sold within this week. Hype levels at a high. Again, the hype levels at a high for all the DOrc books because they're all connected to each other. So that's why they're all going to have a hype level as a high. What do you think about this Ryan Otley cover?
Well, I do love me some Ryan Otley, so I'm fond of the cover.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know what's going on.
So a book that had a criminally low print run, a 1 in 25 has got to be extremely rare now.
Possibly.
You know what I mean? So, and that's what's driving the market now. There is also 1 in 50 that didn't quite make the list, which is the Ryan Stegman with the chicken. That one is even more in demand. And there's some other ones. There's a Gonzo variant. We'll talk about that one a little bit later. And there's some other retailer exclusives that are getting a little more traction in the aftermarket. And their price tags are they're all around the 200 mark. They're hitting that 200 mark. So this is one of those situations where it's like lightning in the bottle.
Probably.
You know what I mean? But it is pretty crazy. I dig this cover a lot, though. I do dig this cover and stuff. And I think it might be a wraparound. I'm not sure. At number 7, you gonna say?
I don't think that one's a wraparound, but it could be because of the big beastie.
This is the one that I think is very interesting. Because at number 7 is the blank variant of DOrc number 1.
Which I saw going for $50.
Now $75 the last recorded sales value. Where you see if most common fair market is at $51. It's number 3 for cover price. The 7-day, 30-day, 32, 38. Oh, again, hype level is at a high. Now, what's interesting about this one, it does have the same situation as other blanks, in which if you open up the blank, you get cover A. So are people buying this, and are they removing this blank cover? Or are they buying this for the actual blank? Blanks are usually the lowest selling book out of the bunch.
Yeah. I'm assuming. Well, again, that would add to this, making this a little bit valuable. But I'm just guessing that it's people going for the blank because, maybe they want one of their favorite image artists to put something on there.
Well, yeah, I think that's cool, but to the point that it's at this level.
We're gonna do all night. I'm gonna sit here like I do not understand. Not one word did I hear about this book on the week of release, and then all of a sudden, fireworks, no explanation. No one gives me a straight answer. They just give me what feels like things. Brett Bean will honor them. I know Brett Bean's gonna honor everything. Brett Bean seems like such a good dude.
Well, he's definitely a cool guy. He roasted me, but he's a cool guy.
Why did he roast you?
Oh, so yesterday in the cover price video, he was actually on the he was on the chat.
Oh, all right.
So he was, we were talking about, this book. He couldn't sell the book in New York Comic Con. I said I was there, so he called me a butthead.
And that was Brett Bean.
That was Brett Bean. It was actually the.
Oh yeah, he called you a butthead, and he said you walked right past me.
Yeah, I can't tell you if I did or didn't.
But he remembers, just like Pepperidge Farms.
Possibly.
Yeah, I saw that. I just remember. I didn't realize it was the Brett Bean. But yeah, I saw his video today where he's like so excited and everything.
I'm really happy for the guy. No, in all seriousness, I'm
happy for him. But if this is all the Shadow Cabinet doing this, I'll be so upset.
But he's also very honest about the FOMO of it all, right?
Yeah.
So he is like, if you want to get this book, the second printing's on its way. You can order the second printing. You don't go crazy spending tons of money. And he's like, I get it if that's who you are. So I respect that about him. The fact that he's straight up telling you, don't overspend if this is not the reason why you want to get this book. If it is, if you want to do the collector thing, go for it. You know what I mean? And I think that's fair because people are going to do the collector thing no matter whether he says it or not. You know what I mean? But
I just gotta say, now that I know that it was him who said I couldn't give away the ash can.
Yeah.
He trolled you. I love him. A, I love him that much more. And B, the fact that he doesn't know what's going on makes me feel better as well.
Yeah. Well, he knows the FOMO's going on, but there was this general love. I think that's a little bit of it's almost like a little bit of a Mark Spears fan base type of thing going on here. I think there's a little bit of that going on.
Like, how many years did it take Mark Spears to claw his way to that top?
Well, same thing with here with Brett Bean. He's been around, man.
Clawing away, but I don't remember anything like where I was like, oh my gosh, Brett Bean from what? I don't know him. Kilted Corgi even agrees with me. Thank you, because I am.
Well, DVH is on the same train as well. It's like everything's fishy. Like
it is fishy. It really is.
It is interesting, but we'll see. We'll see how things go in the next couple of weeks. I'll be honest with you. The next couple of weeks, he'll probably give us a little more of a clear direction. At number 6 is the Jason Howard variant of DOrc. I think this is one of my personal favorites. This one is going for $20 near mint. Not anymore. The most common fair market value was $29 and $60 and 9.8. This was number 5 for cover price. I believe the price of the book is starting to trickle upwards as well. As of this recording, or as of this live stream, really, 7-day trend was 53 sales in the last 7 days, 55 within the last 30. Again, hype level is at a high. I personally like the punk unicorn. This is one of my favorite covers. Jason Howard did a really cool cover here.
Well, I like an action pose, so I will give it points for that.
Yeah, I don't know if you could see it, but there is a signature. This like a little iconic signature that Jason Howard did, which is really cool. It's right here. I don't know if you look at the image, it's like the J and the H, and it's kind of like a nut as well.
Oh, I love a hidden nut.
Yeah, I know you do.
Just not when it's dark.
And I'm digging the unicorn. That's what I dig. Mm-hmm. How you doing, Nerdy Geek?
Nerdy Geek.
All right, let's go into number 5 in our list, and we're gonna take a break from DOrc for a minute. And this is a book that last week I said it was gonna be on the list, And damn it, I am happy it made the list. And I'm talking about DCKL Boss Battle #1, the Derek Robinson Homelander versus Superman variant. This book came out last week. $8 is last recorded sales value. Most common is $14 near mint. There are some 9.8s already floating around at $60. Trending list. This was number 4 in CBSI. Didn't quite make the top 10 for cover price, but it did come in as number 12 in the list. 7-day, 30-day trend. 134 copies last 7 days. 180 within the last 30. Hype is at a medium. What's your thoughts on the boss battles?
I mean, this was the only one that mattered.
I think the other ones are cool. I think the Joker one is pretty cool.
I don't know.
You didn't like the Bad Girls one?
I liked Black Lightning and Plastic Man versus Sub-Zero, and
that one didn't come out yet, though, or was it an exclusive?
no, I thought they were in. I thought they were in the compilation.
I didn't see it as a cover.
No, I didn't see the cover. I'm talking about the actual interior of the book.
Oh no, I'm talking about the covers, man.
No, the cut, it's fine. I just wanted the story. I got the A cover. Of course, people are going to get this one for the meat and the potatoes. I don't really care. I will spring for a cover when it speaks to me. Like last week, this spoke to me. All right, all right. And
hey, I said, all the covers spoke to me because I like them all. I like these battles, these intercompany battles that you get. Like Homelander Superman is obvious, bro.
It is obvious.
So why not? Why not get it? So I'm digging the cover. I like the cover. Story, yeah, like most people said, it was a short story. But what do you expect with these kind of books? Like you can't expect a 32-page throw 'em down if you got to do all these characters.
No, but you would expect like maybe a 64-pager.
Well, they could have done like a limited series type of approach, right? They could have done 4 issues, and each issue, they could have been like one-shot issues. Could have done that, but we don't know how they handle the rights situation. So that's number 5. Let's take a look at number 4. At number 4, we're going back to DOrc, but we're gonna go to the J. Gonzo Presto Comic Shop that was limited to 500 copies. This personally is a really cool cover. Gonzo killed it with this cover. $80 near mint's last recorded sales value of this book. The most common is $82. As far as the trending list goes, number 9 in cover price. 7-day, 30-day, we got 82 sales. On the 7-day, 89 within the 30 days. And the hype level is at a high. You know what's what makes me laugh about this cover?
What's that?
Like, I was gonna mention this yesterday when we were doing the cover price show, but I figured the guys wouldn't understand what I meant by it. But I think you will understand. I'm getting Chavo vibes.
Yeah.
Right? Chespirito?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
I look at that, yeah.
You see it, right? You see with the hood?
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, so there's in Mexican television, because it's Mexican. In Mexico, there was a character. There was an actor. He's a comedic actor by the name of Chespirito, and he did a lot of caricatures. It was like a bit of a character type show. One of the characters was named Chavo.
Yep.
And the other one was Chapulín Colorado. Now he was homaged in The Simpsons by do you know what's the Simpsons character, the Bumblebee character?
I can't remember them, but
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Right? El Chavo del Ocho. Yeah, that's right. El Chavo del Ocho. And when I see this, he looks just like a Chavo del Ocho. And it was interesting because you had grown adults playing children, if you remember.
So yeah, he's called the Bumblebee Man in The Simpsons.
The Bumblebee Man in The Simpsons, and that's an homage to Chespirito.
And Humberto Velez voices him since 2025.
Wow.
And it airs on Channel Ocho in the Simpsons universe.
So there you have it. So that's why I see when I see this image. But it is Jay Gonzo, and Jay Gonzo has a flair for doing these types of Day of the Dead type of color style, or his style is very unique. So I gave it to him. He did a phenomenal job with this one. So really good stuff here. All right. At number 3 in our list, we got another DOrc, and this is the Jorge Corona variant. Another great cover done by him. This one had a $40 near mint last recorded sales value of this book. Most common fair market value is $45 near mint, $60.
Jorge Corona, I will say that. Which, by the way, he was on this book that everyone missed. No one's how this was beautiful. How y'all missed it? I don't understand.
Well, now that you're pointing the Spawn book,
yeah.
One of the things I did mention is I am getting a lot of Greg Capullo vibes in this cover. It feels like he did channel a little bit of his Greg Capullo in it. You know, Greg Capullo, Todd McFarlane, all that.
I want to say young Capullo, to be
cover.
honest. I feel he's channeling young Capullo.
Young Capullo, I think, was more of
not very young. Okay, mid-age Capullo. All right, because young Capullo. I don't want to go too far back. It gets
young Capullo was very much a copycat of Todd McFarlane. Or
I would say no, because
when he first did Spawn, yes, but before that he was doing X-Force, if you remember.
I do, and it was not super great.
No.
But I feel he really took off in my eyes. His best classic work is the Angela miniseries.
Yeah, I love Angela.
I loved his Angela miniseries, and I don't know, he changed his style to what
Batman, when he got to Batman, there was a bit of a change there.
That was more than a bit of a change.
Yeah,
that was more than he went for something that was a faster pace output. Let's say, in my opinion, just my opinion.
So let's get back to this one with Jorge Corona. Jorge Corona did this cover here. Yeah, the shield is interesting, but there is a story behind the shield, right?
The shield is the MacGuffin. So yeah,
the MacGuffin is the story, right? This is a cool cover, man. I don't care what you think. It's a cool cover.
It's a cool cover for a book that I'm really not very interested in.
It's not for you.
And it's not really, and I love D&D stuff. The thing is, like, I would have casually read this, but now I'm left in the why is this happening?
Well, my curiosity is what is going to be the print count for issue number 2? Because you know how the whole issue 1, issue 2 situation is, right?
Yeah, there's usually less of issue 2.
So if this was criminally under order for issue number 1, what issue 2 is going to look like?
Over ordered or criminally?
How?
Ordered.
It was already it passed FLC.
Oh, then in that case, probably criminally under ordered.
Even more so.
Yep.
So be on the lookout for issue 2 when it comes out, because you're gonna have to grab it early, because it will be gone if it's anything like issue 1.
I mean, I can't argue with that logic.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot.
Yep. All right. At number 2, a book that came back from the list. It came back strong this week. It didn't quite make number 1, but Superman 34, the Mario Focciello. I don't even know how to say it. My apologies, Mario. Variant, of course, paying homage to Dragon Ball Z. $33 near mint's last recorded sales value. Most common is $34 near mint, $100 and 9.8. Number 10 for Key Collector, number 2 for CBSI, actually number 15 in cover price. 7-day, 30-day, we got 64 sales, 165 within the last 30 days. Hype level is still at a high. Very similar, I think. But this is more because I honestly believe we're getting more readers, more collectors into the hobby. And I'm liking it, and I think this is a sign of that. That's my personal opinion.
I think we need to hang out in front of comic book shops and do Cliffy on the street. I think we need to just, we need to question people. I want to see what's in their bags. You know,
You investigate people's bags, man. What's up with
yeah.
that?
Well, no, I like
You just want
voluntarily.
to see what kind of toys they got.
But at their comic book, like I mean, on Wednesdays, just be outside the shop, be like, "Yo, what's up? You want to chat with us? What do you got in there?
You gonna do that?
Today?"
Are you gonna do that tomorrow?
No, I don't have the energy for this. I'm just
Well,
saying.
why are you
Like,
gonna be doing Cliffy on the street if you're not doing Cliffy on the street?
well, not immediately. I was like, I need
You
to
gotta
take
do
my-
Cliffy on the street, man. Are you going to King Con? You're going to King Con, right?
I was waiting for my blood pressure to come back. Okay, so
You're going to King Con, right?
I'm going to King Kong.
We're gonna do that.
We should.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna talk to the fans. We're gonna go. You guys heard it here. We're gonna go to King Kong. We're gonna be talking to the fans. We're gonna be asking them questions. We're gonna be doing investigating reporting.
Honestly, I'm gonna be like, do you love Absolute Batman? Like, I'm just gonna start with that, you know, with
No.
that, yes. And I'll be like,
He'll do his, I'll do mine, but we'll do it together.
No, we'll do. I want to poll people on Absolute Batman, on Dork, on how recently they've been reading comics.
Mm-hmm.
I want statistics.
So you heard it here. It's March. When is it in March?
Dude, I gotta get my calendar open for this.
I'll know exactly what date it is once I see the date.
All
It's
right.
going because it's the first week of March, I believe. It's March 7th.
It's March 7th. Let me see.
March. Yep. King Kong. I got it listed.
Oh my god, let me put that on the calendar.
Yeah,
right
March 7th is King Kong. We will be there.
all day.
Unless there's a storm or if I don't get paid
put into the
again.
universe. Don't no. Last year, COVID kept me home. No, don't put nothing into the universe.
No, but you know what happened to me? I couldn't go to Garden State because of that stupid paycheck situation.
listen. Other than the entertainment, you missed nothing. So like, don't worry
No,
about
man, I would have been hanging out with Josh. That's always fun.
Well,
Do they have Turok
it-
#1? Yes, we're gonna find out. Thank you, JSS, for putting the information for King Kong. That's your plug for King Kong. So good friends of the channel as well.
it. Hanging out with Josh. 3 out of 5.
We found Josh. All right. Let's get back to our list because we got one more to go. And if you didn't know, now you know. It's DOrc #1, cover A. This book is super hot. 90,000 near mint. This book is now going for about $100. Most common fair market value, $79 near mint, $128 at a 9.8. Trendy list #9 for key collector, #1 for CBSI, #2 for cover price, 730-day trend, 450 copies, 522 within the last 30 days. Hype levels at a high. This is the one. Dare I say we're gonna see homages to this cover. It's gonna happen.
This cover itself feels like an homage.
It does kind of have those homage flair, but I think it has something to do with the orange. I don't know why.
Okay.
Maybe the orange is giving me
violence.
that absolute Batman feel vibes to it. You know what I mean? Wow! Look at this. $200 for 9.8 raw, 100. Yep, it's going up. This is the bone of the absolute age. It really is.
Possibly.
For those of you who don't know Bone was a comic book series that came out in the 90s, early 90s. It was from Cartoon Books. Jeff Smith was the artist, writer, and it was very much a kid's book, but it was also a respectable kid's book. It was an all ages book. It's probably a better way to put it. It was a great series, so I got to go back and reading it. But it was a good series, and it does have a lot of Bone imagery or feel to it. You know what? This could be, if the hype train remains for DOrc, I'm gonna say it out loud. This could be the very next Walking Dead / Invincible.
Okay.
You know what? I think that's the potential behind this book.
Well,
I'm talking about
this.
I'm not talking about story wise. I'm talking
No,
about
like,
collectability.
I'm gonna call this one Walking Dead because I am calling Radiant Black Invincible.
Well, I'm talking about as far as the collectability and the
No,
fact that
I'm saying, but ultimately, as time unfolds, I feel like this one's relationship to collectability will land in the Walking Dead category, and Radiant Black will land in the Invincible category.
Do you think Radiant Black has the potential to being an Invincible in the sense
Absolutely.
in the sense of collectability?
Absolutely. It's got the right now low print run. Okay. Not enough people are paying attention to it. Some people dismissing it because they're like, oh, it's Power Rangers. It's Power Rangers. It's so much more than that. And the animated series is continually in the works. When it drops, it's going to shake things up. And now all of a sudden, it's going to be the Invincible thing all over again.
Yeah, where every book is expensive.
So
DOrc's not going to have that.
DOrc may have that. If DOrc gets
it won't have that. It'll only have that with maybe the first 4 issues.
Possibly. But if DOrc gets a very popular TV, animated series, whatever.
Well, Red Bean has working animation.
There you go.
So there is precedence for that.
There absolutely is.
All right. There you have it, guys. That's your number 1 book of the week. We've been doing a little bit of overtime today. We hope you enjoy this top trending. Let me know what your thoughts are. Which books did you get? Did you get any of the DOrc books? Share your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for next week. Did DOrc make the list next week? I have a feeling he will still be in the list. Maybe not all the books, but I do believe we'll still see DOrc next week. That's my personal opinion towards that. Whew. And that's our show.
Love it. I hope it's not I hope we don't get another DOrc overreach next week. That's all I hope.
I don't think so. I think for next week in general, I think we'll have, we'll definitely have some overlap, but I do think some other books are going to come back into the list. So if I could just go into League of Comic Geeks for a second and take a look at what's coming out this week.
Absolute Wonder Woman annual number 1.
That's a good one.
I'm calling it.
It depends on the story. If there's something in the story that really has something into it, like who's doing the writing of it?
I did not peek
Kelly Thompson. She's doing the writing.
Yeah.
And Mateo De Luis is doing the art.
Yes.
Okay. Experience the briefly becoming Medusa. Okay. We'll see. I don't know, but it's Wonder Woman versus Medusa.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Looks cool though. Some of these covers.
Cool. Yeah. Hey, look, it was Batman versus a bunch of bigots for his annual, and it made it happen.
Here's another big one. DCKO issue 4.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we're going to get the absolute characters. So you might want to look at the Mike Del Mondo cover.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be one to check out. You also want to check out the Javier Fernandez foil Virgin variant. That also has the absolute characters in it. So there's that one. And there is a 1 in 25 Gilla March variant. Not as exciting as the other ones, but you might want to check that one out as well. There is a Transformers 29. There's a cool cover with Megatron versus Optimus. There is an RC cover that's pretty cool as well. Cyclops issue number 1 comes out this week as well. There was one book that I saw that I really thought was cool. There's Moon Knight number 1 that's out this week. Geiger 21 is also out. Wade Wilson, that's one worth checking out.
Also, there's a lot of indie Valentine postcards this week. In case you haven't noticed this week. In case you haven't noticed that, so make sure if your shop has them that you get one.
There you go. So, and the second printing of Absolute Batman 15.
Oh my God, it's like 20,000 second printings of Absolute Batman this week.
Yeah, but there's a Gabrielle Del Auto cover.
Yes, I'm sure people will be wet for themselves.
I'll show it to you right now, man, just so you guys can see it. Just look at that. I'm gonna make this big. Look at that cover. Can I make it bigger? Can I do that? Yeah, look at that cover. That is going to sell out. That's going to be a big one. Yeah. Big deal.
I don't know where Batman's leg ends and
no one cares. It's Gabrielle Del Auto.
I care. I will care. I judge.
Oh, I can see where his leg is.
I judge. Look, JSS also said meh.
Man,
Thank you,
it's Del
JSS.
Auto, man. It's the Del Auto. Anyway,
I don't care. No, Del Auto has gorgeous pieces, and then he's got, yeah, this is okay. Like Joker looks like a big old demon. Good for you, but that's it.
all right, Cliff. Let the world know where they can find you when they can't see you here.
When you can't find me here on Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern, you can find me over the Council of Comics, 5 p.m. Eastern Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern Wednesdays. You can find me with Comics and Coffee and Cliff Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. This week, I'm going to have Philobox Comics. It's going to be great.
Philobox.
Yes, I'm going to have Philobox. And occasionally, I do some Comics and Cocktails with Cliff in the evening. So look forward to some of those coming in the near future. And then that's it. And then
a whole bunch of other places, right? That you
a whole bunch of other places. You can catch me on Mad Spidey. Sometimes you can catch me on Paul in the 619. You know, sometimes you can catch me just randomly choosing to make a fool out of myself on my station. You never know. I could just pop up.
All right. And you guys know where to find me here in IzzyVerse. We're gonna be doing some fun stuff coming up soon. So we got some conventions to get ready for, and we'll see you next week at the show. Until then, we love you all, and thank you for being a part of the show. Until then, Excelsior.
I think this is it. I think you're about to go home. Okay. All right. Look, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you!
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I never said thank you.
And you'll never have to.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I guess I'll see you.